I can't open my eyes in the morning. Brother home was banged in the ear by the phone. I answered the phone to find out that it was my sister. She reminded me it was time to meet the teacher. Exactly 5 minutes later, Jinwoo shows up at high school dressed up. It's no different than a famous star. Remind everyone of the rules of the world. A little bit from the present time. It's been more than 15 years since the Gates appeared all over the world to feed his feeding-age sister. School age, and the mother is suffering from non-Wysung disease. Jinwoo, though, is only an E-level hunter at the bottom of society. But in spite of everything, I stormed into the dungeon to work. Unfortunately, Black is right. The first time I experienced it, I got lost in the cave. The end, of course, is death. However, their Jinwoo broke away from the restrictions. Must know, normally, people only wake up once and will not grow, leading to rankings also not change. But Jinwoo is different. You're lucky to wake up a second time after facing death. In the process of honing your abilities through battle, Jinwoo has been in the hand. The holy water of life cures the pestilence. X to it, you've got a whole army of darkness. Thanks to the power of soul acquisition. Back to main content. Gina was quite surprised to see his handsome appearance. 2. Your iPie. 2 is easy to understand. Bye. So Jinwoo can wear fitness clothes as usual. Go see the teacher. Of course, it comes with an internal magnet that attracts girls. There are no girls at this age. When I saw Jinwoo, I was struck by lightning. But Jinwoo doesn't care. Go straight to the teacher's office to hear something about Gina. Not beyond prediction, Gina at school is very popular. To hear the head teacher praise what is outstanding, both character and performance are good. It's an ideal model for all students. More than her test scores. Also fall within VI of the desired university. The teacher should have just told her family that. But Singwoo alone. As a hunter, I wanted to ask more. For example, Gina woke up. Though, do you support her becoming a hunter? Jinwoo finished listening. The answer is objection. Because you know how dangerous this job is. The teacher does not know how to advise anyone. Just ask Jingu for an outrageous thing. Take her word for it. Jingu quickly arrives at Ri's door and waits for Han. Songjia, as soon as I see you. I took a picture with my sister to verify. It's true that this girl is super close friends with her. Is new to work. Songji feels insecure. First, there is advice. You're not quitting hunting either. Ji Woo calmly explained, if you're on a bullshit team, there's not enough money to eat. So according to your attack team, it's the most logical. Jinwoo emphasized that he was not asking for his opinion. It's making a request. So the rejection is null and void, and the D can only silently follow. At the same time at the airport, manager of the Hunters Association, Yan Kun personally came to pick up the famous hunter. Kwang Dong-soo visited the land of kimchi. Because he's a dangerous component, so you get straight to the point of how long he's going to stay here. The coin assured him he would leave soon. Because I don't like this country. That made Ji Kun felt uncomfortable. I wonder who came from the country. What the hell did you get the body for? He was hit by Black Heart, so he was very angry. I know, blind speaker, deaf speaker, show it to somebody. Straight talk raw East Sucum is to Samsung. Jinwoo and a bad hunter talk a lot. And if Jin Kun comes here to stop him, I'm sorry. Don't put me in your eyes. Jin Kun decides to avoid the forest. Should have rebutted. I came here just to fulfill my duty. X to it. Choi Jong-un is sitting in an emergency meeting with the president of the about dangerous monsters, looking to expand the area. But it's kind of vague. We need to investigate for a while. More important than now, it's Jingo's hunt with a team led by the White Tigers. Arranged this time. Did you bring Theo Songdi? Let her know the grit of hunting. Your reputation in the eyes of the managers is quite high. So when you introduce her, they all easily agree, are having a social chat. Suddenly a hunter came to complain about. It takes time for the E-hunters to sniff. Her achievement, according to the manager, he's a first-class hunter named Kim Kun, in charge of tanker locatio. Can see, this class is the captain of tonight's hunt. The attack team will consist of a class. 5 Bs and 2 Cs for a total of 8. Out. Jagu and Songdi will go together according to the study. There are a total of 10 people. Jagu doesn't really matter the 5th squad. So it's okay. You're just wondering about Songji because I thought bringing it here would make her think again. And now it looks more bloody than usual. See if it's bad. Before entering the gate, the manager said something to Jinwoo. that trying to avoid letting new hunters lose their land. Staying in the back is enough. We're done, team of 10, let's go. Jagu was the last to walk through the gate, and immediately realized that something was wrong. It's like the energy flow is out of control. Turn a C-class dungeon into a red gate. Jagu quickly pulls the Songdi running back. But it's too late. You can only tell to managers. Get in touch with the main attack team. White Tiger quickly received the urgent news immediately to the scene of the incident. Back to the Vanguard. People are transported to a frozen world and literally locked up. Classic Kim seems to know this kind of red gate very well. Should boldly affirm that. Songdi didn't know when to ask Jingo. Quick explanation is different from normal ports. This is a special kind of dungeon. Once you enter, you will be completely isolated from the outside. People inside can't get out unless you kill the boss or the place collapses. Especially outsiders can't get into the rescue. And the monsters here will be about 3 levels stronger. Just finish the sentence. An ill-fated member has fallen by the ice pole arrow. Songdi will go to Theo without G1. Help for all. Immediately look in the direction. The arrow flew out and spotted some frozen spirits. They're extremely cunning when it comes to the 2 weakest. Team, the more Jagu thought, the crazier he was. He crushed the arrow in his hand. After understanding the situation, Captain Kim made the announcement. This category is at least B rated. So to survive back to everyone, you must obey the captain. After that, he himself is not strong enough to command everything. So we decided to split the raw team into 2 small groups. The reason he gave sounded very good. But the common meaning is still eliminating the weak. To easily survive. He assured me that those who followed Theo would survive. Of course he only accepts C-class hunters pouring in. The rest is free. A day here by an hour outside. The worst, it's going to take a few months here to beat the boss. The weak want to survive. You have to hide during that time. It sounds cruel, but this is the reality. Any human would do the same. But there's still one person who's actively applying through the E category. Captain Kim thinks she's feeling sorry for them. Should have agreed. I didn't know this was the right choice. She knows Jinwoo is definitely stronger than his selfish surname Kim. He couldn't even feel that arrow. But Jinwoo is able to stop it. Divide the team. Captain Kim chose the main route to go, so Jinwoo will go to the forest. A while later, Gao team caught the scratch of the ice bear eye on the tree trunk. Captain Kim guesses, if the other side also encountered this trace, surely they will all die. Right then in front of him came a ferocious roar. Not too surprising when the ice bears pulled together and attack. Surprise Captain Kim's seasoned experience. Reacted in time, put the shield up, then deliver a fatal blow. He succeeded in destroying the first. On the other hand, the Jingu group also encountered traces of scratching. Bright girl. They asked me to come back before the bears, but Jingu thinks he should go deep into the forest. Because if this is ice bear territory, just be wary of it. Much better than the ice spirits who are wise as demons. I heard him say you opened your eyes. She admits she's shallow. I will completely obey Zingo. I have no opinion anymore. Jinwoo just took out the warm clothes from the high-end warehouse. The picture takes 5 seconds. Ask Jinwoo to explain. What is your true identity after all? Listening, so Jagu gently rubbed his head, but Ji promised he'll be responsible for bringing her here. But in exchange, you don't want any questions. AI in the group. At the end of the sentence, an ice bear appeared. Jingu immediately changed his name to Wolf Killer to take more damage. At the same time, White Tiger was at the scene. Nothing to do with the red gate. Ow! I can only hope that the hunters are safe. Until the dungeon collapses, suddenly there's a car coming. He stepped down as a traitor. Nothing new to come. He's ready to ask the president to hand over G1 Raw. I saw the red gate appear. He's just waiting for the final result. There's nothing I can do. Back inside. G1 took less than 5 seconds. He killed an ice bear. Makes the whole group wonder. What's that? In the evening, you're alone in their lair. Then call the Shadow Corps with General Is It Raw. Ignite the explosion, start the invasion. At first, his mana dissipated at a slow rate. But since the first one appeared, it slipped off the brakes to 0. Only General Is It left to fight. That you didn't expect. It's handling the Queen Bear so gently. The future general will surpass the owner. What's for sure? In addition to Captain Kim, they've just been raided by a tribe of ice spirits. Only Kim survived. So he's just running towards the forest. Back to Jingmu after the battle. All that's left is a pile of dead bodies lying on the white snow. As usual, once the work is done, it will be profitable. This time Jinwoo recruited 10 more white bears with great offensive power, especially when operating in groups outside the red gate. It's been 3 hours now. Baek Junho is counting the minutes, waiting for everyone to come out. Who also knows? The environment inside the red gate is extremely harsh. As long as it's not closed, that's all I'm worried about. In contrast, while Dongsu constantly yawns and sighs, I'm sure Jingwoo will die there. So I'm going to turn around and leave. But think again. He recognized Soong Jin-gu as a hunter. It's not White Tiger. Why was Sao allowed to join the vanguard there? The manager is reluctant to apologize. I followed him because I was asked to. This happens all the time in the hunting world, so winter is no different. Very suspicious, however. The manager had bad luck playing the backdoor game with the madman's target. He just needs a little more strength. Is that your throat will break right here? But he seems to be looking down on Bushu Junho. It's clearly still here. Dare to work closely with your employees is what you want. He was forced to release his prey, which made him angry. The family must know, since taking up the position of S-class hunter, there's never been an AI that would give him orders. Of course, Junho is not tired of his father. If you want to fight here, then you are ready to receive. Abundant power flow constantly via banging against each other. To form these whirlwinds, blow everything around. Right at the time monsters launched the opening punch, there was a big explosion. Earlier in another development, Captain Kim is back at the starting line. He startled, body trembling. 7 when you see the dead bodies of the snow bears. He doesn't believe these little guys can do that much. So he fooled himself. I think there are snow spirits around here. Then run back. The trail back outside. The explosion just happened. It was caused by Yenkun's blocking move. I need praise for that bravery. Not every hunter dares to stand out. The confrontation of the two gods, as great is convenient. Jin can also helped Bushu return. Hunter Jinwoo, myself about 2 months ago. I tested for him. Surely Jingwoo is still only E-class. The coin is estimated. He died fighting monsters. And that crazy guy still wouldn't believe it. He made up his mind. Live to see people. Death must see the body. He was told to return immediately. I think this is a good sign for Jin-gu. We have to fight a big fight right now. Continue with Captain Kim. He's very fast. We found the last stop for the E-team. The anger immediately came, pushed him to the brink of losing control. Warm clothes and food. Captain Kim is missing. Now he wants justice back. He stepped closer to the hut. At the same time screaming, asked to explain where the supplies were. What name is it? He was hiding the equipment from the beginning, he guessed. Maybe Haechin knew before he chose to switch teams. No evidence needed. He accused Haechin of cover-up. Now is the last chance. Or reveal the whole truth. Or die here. After 3 hours of suddenly counting, Jin-woo appeared to press Captain Kim's head like a so. Next, he reminded the spirits behind him to show their faces before it's too late. Just like that, the whole army of the snow elves removed the invisibility. Simultaneous appearance. Look through Xingwu. You can guess that the leader is the horse. You're quite surprised. When the self, they can understand their language again. Probably influenced by the system, but that doesn't matter now. Shao Clan Chief with Jin-gu, a genius who's trying to fight you. But only briefly. Jin-gu has dealt with the arrogant Ma. Dare to challenge yourself with a clean slash. Then you make a sword. Measure the boss's strategy at what level it is. After using a touch experience package, the Spirit Chiefs know felt that it should not be spent fighting with Xingwu. What else to do? You don't belong to the target group, but the whole tribe has to chase. It turns out that every monster to goblin in the gate, they're all instructed to kill people. If Jin-gu is omitted, it means that the system has assigned you to a group of players. Talk about here. The chief made a peaceful request. As long as Jin-gu delivers the people behind, your skin will be comfortable in this forest. Jin-gu then asked the opposite. Let's see what the hell they are. Why Sao is constantly aggressive with humans? He answered to questions correctly. It was intervened by some force. Reset his memory and let him repeat the offer. Jin-gu doesn't understand very well. Oh, more wasting time. You definitely rejected the offer. Then call General Ra to prepare for battle. This act is sufficient evidence of goodwill. So the snow elf, No need to try to reconcile. He waved his hand and signaled the whole army to move forward. Legion of Darkness. The weak BA knows. The only thing I can do is run, so there's no need to think twice. If you have Jingwoo in the back, it's safe. But it's still the old problem. The Dark Legion is still too weak. But the rate of mana loss is too fast. More powerful insects than Izzet. Make Jingwoo deadlocked not know how to handle Sao. Now, together with Izzet, it will not work. The key to winning this battle, he is a stronger general. Chief, at that time, he admitted that Jin Woo was a worthy opponent. So I introduced myself to be GK and asked him back. Finish the exchange. Both of you continue to perform these sophisticated slashes. Extremely standard movement rate. You can just play. But as I said, Baka stronger than Izzet. Should fight assure Jingwoo will lose. So you chose the old strategy. Simple but effective. I'm weak, but my brothers are strong. When he loses his guard, Jingwoo signals the full release of the shaman team. At the same time, Captain Kim woke up from a coma. He grabbed the sword straight from behind. I want to stab Jingwoo right here. More. Chief BAK also timed to coordinate. 1 before 1 after. Deer and go quick reactio. Make a mini smoke bomb cover IBAK. Then call in Captain Kim's soul to teach him how to fight. Everything is done only a few short seconds. You need slow motion to see it. First Jingwoo call Izzet raw, cutting down the snow creating white smoke. Next, you control Izzet to turn out the back. Pierce through Captain Kim. In the end, just wake up. It's over to join the Dark Corps. Oh Tiger Hunter Shippa. Power of attack. Enough for one breath to repel Chief BAK. From now on he will be promoted to Deputy General. Aeon just behind Izzet. It seems to be too happy. Aeon has activated her provocation skills. Self-numb double with Patriarch BAK. Although strong buffalo cattle, but the speed is too slow. You can't hit the opponent forever. The fans were commenting at the time. Very enthusiastic. They are not strong enough to fight. You can also help make it more exciting. I didn't realize that John was too boring. So I said Jingwoo and Izzet all together. This is what he wants. There is no reason for Jinwoo to refuse. You coordinate with Izzet left-right conflict, bound from both sides. Aeon was in charge of it, so it went on. Of course, I wouldn't stand by and wait to die. He decided to take down Iron first, to avoid provocation. But there's no doubt, this is the trap set by Jinwoo. If you focus on the tanker, you get hit by it. Only thing, this demon is reacting too quickly to the situation, but still avoid weakness. Jinwoo, please let him know. The snow elves have officially flown. The snow immediately rushed to you. Use your reflexes like a god to dodge the dagger of fire's rival, then ironically distort it. Who would throw their weapons like that? I'm sorry, Dad, you're fine. Jinwoo uses his magic hand. The weapon flies back like a boomerang. I didn't have time to turn back. Right after that, he screams out loud. Aeon holds the target. And finally, the team of magicians unleashed the finishing blow. I don't know if that's enough. Dojingu kind quick turn too. More hits on the left flank. At the same time, Cho Aeon broke his head with a hammer. The notification panel appears. This means that K has been destroyed. The boss is hard to chew this time. Horrible. But wait a minute, John suddenly started banging. Continuously entering the body makes Jinwoo angry. I don't want to deal with this kind of epilepsy. Turn your head away. And so the dungeon was cleared. The gate that leads out has also appeared, but before that, Jinwoo needs to capture this stubborn Pokemon. After a while, Bushu Junho smiled happily. Pick up members of the group back. I keep thinking in my head, if there are survivors, it must be Captain Kim. So Jingwoo and Songdi. They were the last two out. Junho was stunned for a moment. Jing was going to go home. You force yourself to stay and testify. Because in this dungeon exploration, your organization has lost 6 members. Who is responsible for them? I have to ask Cho Ra. It's a shame who saved the other 2. Without Jinwoo, all members of the White Tiger team join in. They all died. Junho understood and immediately bowed his head. Sorry, Jingu. Then let him rest. Next, you give the job to the manager. You should invite this person to the party at all costs. About Jingu. After bringing Songdi back, you alone not on business. Because I missed the last one. I don't know why I called my soul 3 times. But still failed. If anything is too hard, put it all on Iron's head. Who told him to torture the body? The next morning, my brother put on his shirt to pick up Jingnu to go to work. How much to dress? This guy is just a driver. Look at the song and listen continuously. Not all young people suffer more. When you go to the dungeon and you can't help it, even a little bit. Blink, the great Jin go wiped out with the Dark Legion, something you don't even know the point of. By the way, Jingnu also introduced Thu briefly. I also consider my son a close friend. It's a little difficult to explain in detail, so to simplify Jingnu, just snap a snap. Immediately the whole army stood still. Head back to the owner. Then you give orders through communication. The thought of telling them to pick up their pickaxes and plow. Don't leave anything in exchange for money. Here, after seeing everything. Jinho like that, I saved the baby. At least, let your brother help collect 10 magic stones. But who's left? Just finish the sentence. The Dark Riders turned around. Give the pile of stones you want, please do it. I suddenly found the kids helpful too. Makes Jingnu very satisfied. At the same time, the ship had just been smashed in a blow. The captain was the only survivor, and have to face the stranger. Tall too savage. He tried to reassure her that just knock the soldiers unconscious, but it didn't work. Currently in the UK, and he fucked in Korean. Fortunately, I am still trying to push. I am human and want to go home. I'm the one who sent me home quickly. Back to the country where Jin Goku resides. That night, he was invited by his brother Jin Ho to have a barbecue to thank the 19 dungeons. If there is no CA, certainly in the next life, Jin Ho didn't complete that goal either. Now just take a theory test at the association to get a license. Though, bring the legal papers to negotiate with me. It's done. Jin, go help me with this. You will disappear for a while. He just finished raising his face. Suddenly, Jin Ho's face became tense. He finished his beer and said, "What, you're a pain in the ass. Don't be afraid to get hurt. Just say it. I know this guy is drunk. Just sit back and listen." Jin Ho starts talking about his older brother, who is 10 years older than him. He hated his younger brother very much. We had a few chances to laugh together. Compared to him, the CA didn't just save your life. It's a ridiculous request. Cleaning up 19 dungeons also accepted. Actually, sometimes Jin Ho thought, it's good that you are my brother. My heart is so broken. Jin Go has to take a sip before making a decision. You're finally filling up your glass of shit. Then take a shot and say, "You're my brother from now on." Jin Ho is so emotional. The tears kept coming out. It makes him unable to control his actions. Determined. Give your brother 10 pieces of meat. I just had a little girl. Audi girl at home now also procures Jin Ho leopard. I don't know how Jin Go to live. On the other side of the shipwreck mystery, was taken to the largest prison in the United States. According to the testimony there. Temporarily, this guy's been locked inside the gate for 15 years. Since when is not good. He was taken through a gate connected to the United States. I can't speak English, so they're waiting for an S-class hunter made in Korea to support. He is a crazy man. Only with him can the investigation really begin. They also know the name of the mystery, pronounced as Wild Love. The next morning, follow a pile of stuff ready to go. About a week. The little sister was curious but didn't ask too much. I think my brother has a girlfriend. Going out for more than a week is understandable. Surely no one will know. Where Jingnu came from is the mysterious tower, where I had previously encountered a CB Rusby a head. Jingnu was only 20 at the time. 3 times as much now, don't ask why. The sea is salty, you take the key. So Long Raw officially entered the journey climbing the tower. It's extremely dangerous. This time by the key. So the mission has changed dramatically. OT just walked in and captured 10,000 demon souls. This number is not small, but it's no problem with Jingnu. Because even if there's 10,000, 200,000, you also accept, because the end goal needs to be achieved. Back outside, Jinho at that time, I'm having an important conversation with my dad on the issue of delegation of authority. You collected 10, all the necessary elements of an association manager. Apart from you, plan to bring outsiders up to be my brother's president. It's too much risk for the company. Speaking of which, the father spoke up. He recited the name Sung Jin Gu, then list the exploits that this hunter has achieved. Of course you know, my son has a lot of help from him. But what you're particularly interested in, it's the red gate that the white tigers encountered the day before. Sung Jin-gu is the leader of the group. Turn to your child for every name. Follow Sung Jin-gu. Try asking, do you dare to give me the title of President Cho? Of course Sung-ho knows that. But even so, you're still determined to be president. To stop it from collapsing. Actually, I'm just waiting for this one of yours. He agreed to that request. However, there is a prerequisite. As far as you know, the white tiger is looking for 1,000 directions. Recruitment Samsung Jagu. So before that happens, you want the ocean to bring him back to you. What do you think? Thickface, please brother, join the guild, it's too easy. And so, the talk ended beautifully. Meanwhile, Sung Jin-gu just finished the first floor. The monster's body piled up, but you can't extract their souls. Instead, you get experience and a passport upstairs. After the cleaning is done, we have to go to the end of the road. Just use a passport. Jin-gu is a bit lazy. You decided to call someone raw to drive you. But I didn't expect the snow bear leader to come out. If only he had the heart. Maybe you don't have a little bit of extra energy. From now on it will be called. It's a tank because of the crazy way it fights. At the same time, dedicated gym party of the healthy goddess. You always exude an attractive aura. Enchanted people, even with women. Sorry about this range. Kind doesn't care about the topic of love. You're on the wing. That can't make information about feathers public. At the present sensitive time, that's going to cause an uproar. More as the country's largest society, you should always prioritize reassuring people. Back to Jin-go. When you get the key. I thought this must be an S-level tunnel. I've only met B-class monsters so far. Even though they're more numerous and stronger by the layer, but as long as you keep your license, you're done. Say it again. Like the original tower, there must be at least 100 floors. So Jinggu wondered, at the top level, how strong will the boss be? Then you yourself will benefit from raw sao. Of course, the most important thing is food. If it's not enough for you to get up there, you have to stop to get out. Just like that, Jinggu hit straight, away up to the highest possible level. The number of 10,000 souls very quickly was collected 10 enough. Singam's blinking has reached the 50th floor. First time facing a boss. The red name is equal to S-level power. Outside side, White Tiger Association manager with her lucky colleague. I've been camping at Jinwoo's house for days. But always asking, is the answer no home? Even the manager used GPS tracking. The results still hold 7 hopes. Jingu's position last appeared. It's right in the center of the city. Then it disappears like a wind. Continue with the tough battle with the red boss. Yonggu is going solo one with it. Order the Legion to deal with the scum. The magic team immediately launched an attack. Right after that, the knights advanced into melee combat. Now Jigen has invested a lot in the wisdom point, so we can store more soldiers. There is also more magical power. Help control legions as smooth as Sunsilk. Hit for a while. You're still wondering why the boss hasn't acted. It's like the end of it. The hammer jumped to wipe out most of the Legion of Darkness. Dear and go crazy. Put all your strength in a blow. Boss, back away. Of course that much cannot be completely defeated, but on the contrary, it drives it crazy. Jinwoo knows it's going well, so he was quick to ask John to throw the shield. That way you can survive the rage. And at the same time, he's going to get some money back. However, your intuition tells you to get closer. I am sure you have to live to save your life. Obviously this boss, ability to read the opponent's movements. So Jinwoo needs to change tactics. To the wing to the head. Priority lock is its anomalous motion. By taking advantage of the crumbling building ahead, as soon as it hits the wall, Jinwoo takes advantage of the gap to get the dagger raw. Raid from above, cut through the neck and finish off the enemy. At the same time, the wasteland was present in the cell of the possum. To start the interrogation, he kept insisting he wasn't asked. It only answers the questions that are asked, but still open with what the crazy guy forbid. You want to know that people have discovered how many secrets about the gate as well as monsters? Because they're just the tip of the iceberg. The power that causes the worst disasters. I finally woke up. That's all you can reveal. That's your goal when you get back. Is to prevent that disaster from happening. Don't say anything. Gather all the hunters in the world. You can't touch a hair as much as you want of that disaster. I thought this guy was crazy. He should leave all warnings out of his ears. Switch to inquiring about personal information. Do you have any family? If so, list the name clearly raw. Coincidentally, she has a son named Seung Ji Gold. The name touches that crazy guy's itch. It makes him cry straight. Your son's buried in the dungeon. Speaking of Jingwoo at that time, you clear a path to the undead floor. Still alive and well. As for the winter solstice, my condolences. Loving wild pulse just tossing a punch. They destroyed the entire torture facility. More than half of his life. About Jin-go, you only have 25. The next floor is 100. We ran out of food and had to go back. The total loot after 75 floors. It's not exactly white. Xinu just lacks one more item of equipment. Is to complete the VIP set. And there's also a sphere of greed that's doubled. Damage to the wizarding team. A mysterious key from the gift box. And especially, it's 2 out of BA pieces required for holy water items. It's just a little bit missing. You'll be able to save my mother's life in a hospital bed. Out to the outside. Jin-woo still has a lot of regrets. Because I'm not trying to get the ingredients. The blood of the Demon King was finally purified. The only known item is on the top floor. Next time, I swear I will be fully prepared. Besides, by plowing more than 70 floors of Demon Castle, Jingwoo's level is quite high. However, the current official level is still only E level. Now, if you want to plow in the high-level dungeon, you can't, because there is no raid. So what do we do to break this dead end? Back to work, of course. Hunter testing for the whole of career. This Xinu is not the right form. Say do it immediately. The next morning, Jin-go is at the Hunters Association, waiting for the name to be checked. That's always the case. Inside this area, there will be some fake wake-up hunters waiting. It seems like every day it's a B grade. And he showed up again today. Manager Hyen saw one. Pick up the phone. Call White Tiger President Junho to fold the buffalo slowly, drinking fast turbid water. The legs are slow. The hands are bowed. Jinwoo just left. Of course, SAO can give up this super potential character. Even if you're the honorable president, you have to get your ass up and run. When it comes to Jin-gu, you are playing the role. Boys, relax. Listen to the stories of the hunters. C-class people comfort those who don't have a grade. That you just need to get a D or higher. You will be very warmly welcomed. However, it must be on the E-class. It will not suffer very much. Jin-gu only knows how to laugh. Or it's your turn, and I don't have to remember the days of shame. This is Chong for the first time. The test method has not changed. What Xinu understands. Put your hand on the crystal ball. Start a general index assessment. I thought it was about 9. As if the machine is constantly reporting errors. Even if the staff tried again and again. It took too long to open the door. The machine is broke. He immediately protested and tried again himself. That's how the error message came out. Please note that this is not the fault of the device. It's reporting that it can't be measured. It means this man's magical power is beyond limits. Assigned or spoken for ease of understanding. This is South Korea's 10th S-class. At the same time, Manager Gu is having a meeting with Tai-2, Big Face in Hunters, to talk about the monster spilling out of the gate. But what he cares about is not why it happened. Which is the one who killed the Rosewood Worm himself. Because I heard it's a non-white tiger outsider. It's a very sensitive question. Fortunately, on the side of the gate raw and suddenly give the manager an excuse to leave. People avoid it on purpose. You still have a hard face to follow through. It's nothing. All of a sudden, it's just Seung Hunter G1. Reported an S rating of approximately 100%. Your party's about 3 days away. Back to the test machine. Special for S-class. Right now, Manager Gu with the president of the Hunting Guild, Choi Jong-in walked by. Jinwoo, of course. You know the name. Who stands at the top of his fire magic? So you're not allowed to flinch. He had to smile and invite you to the club. I'm sorry, Gingu wasn't interested at all. It goes directly with sorry. AMPG. Dong Inder who turned to ask fun with Manager Gu. Obviously, he introduced Thu as Choi Jong-in of the Hunters Association. That's right, the manager only knows how to hum. Because more than anyone, you are the one who knows Jin-gu best. At that moment, President Junho rushed over. Is the most obvious evidence for Choi Dong-I. You have to know that White Tiger headquarters is very far away. And yet Junho himself ran to the point of panting. I have the answer, so I'm confident. Sooner or later, soon Jin-go will join us. Evening to the palace. I went to the hospital to visit my mother for a while. I promise you, just wait a little longer. Then quietly leave. But I just got out the door. You're blocked by the manager. He took the name of the surveillance department. It's the only agency that can control hunters. To hold your feet. Of course, when you're in front of the S-classes, it makes no sense. So the manager uses the invitation. They don't force you to meet someone. I probably don't need a referral anymore. President of the Korean Association is too famous. First of all, I want to congratulate Jingu. Promoted from Ellen's class. There is no need to reassess the cost. The test machine error message is enough. But still have to apply for 3 more days. It's to buy time for the association to get access. Potential people like Jingu. I have to understand this dirty trick. In fact, there aren't many hunters wants to join the association. They're all attracted to income, with high reputation from the great society. Manager and Manager Gu. This is a rare case. Although it is very strong, it is still a class A in the end. So the president wants to get straight to the point. Topic. I hope that Jin Woo can stand shoulder to shoulder with the association. Of course, he'll prepare you for a very important position. Why does it give so many benefits? Explain a little. People who support the country. It is no longer the government. It's the hunters. There are 5 big clubs that hold a lot of power. Lucky to maintain the balance. As if Gringu were to join any society. That will be severely damaged. So, joining the association is a reasonable choice to better manage those 5 associations. Of course, Jingu knows this is a delicious proposition. A position in the association. It means a warm life. Outside the government. Sure, there's no place with as much power as a Gyun president. Not to mention, he's also Korea's first S-class hunter. Just sitting close, you also feel the overwhelming power. Despite retirement, but he's still as strong as Jingu. So just accept this invitation. Your life will turn a new page. That's what I do. To Jingu ask permission to refuse, for reasons of wanting to fight. This quote literally means you want to hunt. High-level vaults. You can see it in those steel black eyes. It's not a lie. It's been a long time since the president's heart rate rose this high. The child is now about 10 years old. I'm sure he'll stand shoulder to shoulder with this hunter, if Jinwoo is ready. The president did not force it. I am so grateful for your valuable time. Listen to an old man talking. After Jinwoo left, the president decided to leave the next job. To live up to this newly lit fire. Explain through the reason Jingo categorically rejected the president. The association only takes over dungeons of D or E class. Jinwoo needs to get promoted quickly to cure my mother's disease, so I can't tie myself up there. The next morning, the wasteland woke up with an injured body. The U.S. Deputy Chief of Staff paid him a special visit to ask for clarity. The wild monster really needs to be careful. I didn't see him confirm. He then made the decision to pursue wild love. However, the capture of the man who is able to beat it doesn't seem very realistic. Of course, this is completely intentional. It's been so deep in shame. It drives him crazy. Be sure to leave the hospital. Sue will hunt rare artifacts for revenge. For those who don't know, artifacts are high-level equipment in the hunting world. It's sold all over the internet, but very few people can afford it. Even Sung Jin-gu has a headache. I don't know why you want to be fully equipped. But there's all this crap in the store. The best ones only increase by 30%, while the orb you picked up doubled. Magic damage. Of course you can sell it. It will be investigated for its origin. Now we need to find a reasonable excuse. For example, I have entered a class Just thinking about it, I found a job offer. Go to level a prison. What is the crime? The next morning, the president Go Gal Hae has started to investigate the details of the hunter Sung Ji-gu. But your Phantom E-class passed. It's still a big question mark. It takes more time to find a solution. Meanwhile, Ji-gu is at a class A gate. As a member of the excavation team, most high-class ports have to be divided into teams to ensure safety and economy. This time Choi Jong-in will take the lead, so the hazard rate is almost 0. Just a snap. All the monsters inside, except the boss, has been dealt with. Wait for him to come out. It's the excavation team's turn to work. Before that, you need to pay attention to the vice president of the S-Class Hunting Guild. If in the country, Chahin dancers arrive. Sung Ji-gun also has respect. In front of the false energy radiating around, she shouldn't be able to joke. To the inside, Ji-woo felt the boss's position. For the first time, I was quite surprised. But you dare to insist. This one is stronger than the calumny and menace of the Demon Castle. If you are stronger, you have to test some swords. You deliberately worked overtime to spend precious time alone. In the dungeon, wait until everyone goes out to eat. You just moved to the front door. The 5-year-old mouth knife began to smile excitedly. If you are black, you are discovered by Vice President Cha Han, standing before the straightforward question of the goddess Jingyu. A little confused myself. Blamed yourself. I don't understand why. That's when I had this weird idea. Next, you go back to fighting. I accidentally got lost here. I was surprised to hear that. A small-time miner who dares to go to the room. The liver is not small. Jingyu was also surprised. I didn't know there were hunters. They hide their presence. It's so terrible. After understanding the situation, he coldly told you to come out. Because if you dared to move, angering the insect at the moment, then the whole mining team disintegrated. Theo. Listen to the beautiful woman's reminder. Jingyu meekly go out. But as we passed each other, Hein suddenly called him back. You didn't say no, get close. Smell on the body. You take a deep breath. Hein amazing. Jinwoo doesn't he smell bad? She asked if he was really a hunter. Look closely at the card. That's a real e-hunter. Hein is a little shy. Stand back and tell Jingyu on the way home. Be careful because this dungeon is big. When Jingyu is gone, she starts to doubt herself. Because with a low rank like Jingyu, the smell must be strong. He smells amazing over here. When Jinwoo returned to Ra, your coworkers didn't forget to tease you. The best number of years at work to meet the beauty of thousands of people. The usual miners. Just look at it from a distance and be jealous. And heroine hates the smell of other hunters. Due to special physical, this information made Jingyu suddenly remember the strange reaction of heroine. Maybe before she smells you. Without the hunter's characteristic smell. At the red gate, the worm said the same thing. Made Jingyu wonder. Maybe you're the only player. It's a privilege granted by the system. But so far, you're still confused about the title of this player. Evening, the captain had packed a red envelope into Tae Jin-go. His mouth never stopped thanking him, because thanks to you, the team completed the work earlier than expected. The vice captain also praised Jin-gu for his quality. It's no different than a human-clad excavator. Don't need to think much. The captain asked Jin-gu to join his team. Promised to pay well. Sounds fragrant, but Jingyu is sorry to refuse because I only accept help when I'm free. After listening, his face revealed to words of regret. So, he begged Jinwoo to do more for himself one more day. Because tomorrow's raid will be split into 2 teams, Grade A and Grade C. Just recently, Kia Jinwoo had to re-examine, so stop helping one more session. I saw the chickens nod. The captain was happy to show up. He promised he'll report to his superiors and double your salary. That night, Hein called an acquaintance to investigate Jingo. I can't believe the other guy said. Choi also asked for an investigation. The information is currently being withheld. It's the first time in history. There is Association relocks the data of an E-level hunter. Hein is bored and thinking. Trying to piece things together. From Jin-gu's strange actions in the dungeon to Agent Koi's mysterious investigation directive, there must be something shady about it. She wanted to know as much about Jin-gu as possible because this is the first time I met someone who smells so good. The next morning, Jin-gu arrived. I saw the captain and everyone standing in line. Goods warmly welcome. It brings back memories in you about old friends. In that double dungeon, maybe this is the warm feeling Jinwoo has long since forgotten. After the C-level squad left, Jin-gu's team got to work. The captain can only watch. Laugh happily for having a proper drill in your hand. Thanks to Jin-gu's incredible productivity, so they're resting earlier than a level team. The generous Cap Tai, 5 times the salary to carry Jin-gu home. But you still laugh except for rejection. Right now, Captain Kimin of the Conquest arrives. Want to borrow someone from the mining team on the team? You're missing people. The captain of the mining team refused, but Kimin still dangles rewards outside of Lao. Going with the Conquest team will have more risk money. Of course, no one would risk their lives. Life is about making money. They die as well as not. Surprise! Jin-gu raised his volunteer hand to startle everyone. In front of everyone's worries, Jin-gu assured me that he was very brave. However, the 2 captains were not satisfied. Tell Kimin that he's new. So I don't understand the problem. However, he was even more determined to choose a new Jingyu. A moment later, he stood in front of the prison gate. People feel it's bigger than yesterday. but the magic power is much thinner. To reassure people, Kimin explained that if the danger level is high, this mission was not assigned to the second team, like their own Jingu is still watching. I noticed the team participating this time. There are 6 A-level and B-A-level hunters. Even if there's no S-level hunters. But with this squad, if it was another guild, it wouldn't take the risk. I have to admit, the hunters are real. As soon as I walked inside, Jinwoo suddenly felt it. The amount of energy that's flowing is much less than yesterday. I don't know why you have the same feeling of insecurity. The red port appears. Jinwoo seems worried. The girl next to him advised him not to get too nervous because the captain and everyone else will take care of it. As long as you don't act thoughtlessly, they will not be attacked by monsters. Above, Kimin is also confident that if this raid is successful, your team will. Officially approved. Suddenly from deep inside came a loud noise. All hunters immediately into combat position, even though no one ordered it. A jackdog law raw first. Quickly chipped Kimo. Sometimes the others take turns. They're also being hunted by this powerful hunting squad. Destroy easily. After fighting, everyone is wondering, why did these jockeys appear in a level dungeon? This is obviously a C-class monster. Jinwoo came to check it out. I found that everyone has a necklace on their neck, so I guess we're just pets of something. Just finished, everyone is in the picture when the real monster inside is revealed. A large army of high-ranking soldiers roared, 1 hour thunder. I lead the javelin with tremendous power. That Kaiman's shield almost broke apart. And then the bugs rushed to attack. Team members rushed to the front. Use provocative skills, but in Vi, we're smart enough to know we should target the back before you first jump over your head. The team's magician used a fireball to chase them away. Soon after, Control comes out, unleashing the ropes. The magic holds it tight. However, due to the power difference, it can only last a few seconds. The shaman decided to summon Ra to fire warriors. This is the trump card of consuming enormous amounts of mana consumption. On the other hand, female warriors also do some basic martial arts with some tricks. Then they threw it against the stone wall. Support! The healing needle was called in to treat the wound. But it still doesn't work. When Hun realized that the number of enemy troops was too large, if they are surrounded, the team is in great danger. He asked people to divide into 3 small groups, each group of 3 people, but it's absolutely not decoupled. Just finished, a member had his arm chopped off. Control! He hurriedly used magic to stop the monster, to support recovery work. But when the treatment was over, suddenly a child escaped the control magic, appeared right behind the 2. It seemed like everything was arranged. Then fortunately, Jingu is in a state of invisibility and ready to strike. You lift it up into the air. It ends within a note. There's the Kimin monster. Confrontation also suddenly slows down, so you can end it. The rest are also confused. I don't understand why the flood suddenly weakened. That's how they managed to break through. I don't know. The person behind everything is Jinnu. You don't want to intervene deeply, but I can't stand by and watch. So just quietly weaken them a little bit. At a level that no AI can detect. You see the dogs are constantly being defeated. The whole team was very excited and blinked through the accident. Of course, no one knows what the specific cause is, but winning is still winning. So we're all lucky about this. However, the team does not know. Jingu is the one behind it. You must be hiding something from them. He also understood that Jingu must have his own reasons. So be quiet. It's like paying for your life. We're all confused right now. I don't know if Ki-hoon chose to move forward or withdraw. Now I want to continue. You need at least 2 helpers and 3 wizards. Jingu clearly sees Ki-hoon's regret. You can't conquer this dungeon. Fortunately, he ended up. Decision to temporarily withdraw. To make everyone breathe a sigh of relief. You confirm. I am not stupid enough to know my own strength. But something unexpected happened. As we all turn our heads towards the gate, then discovered a superior boundary. Block the exit. Control. They say that this barrier can be destroyed. But it will take some time. It's just a terrible source of magic. Make everyone raise their hair. I see the situation is critical. She quickly performed magic. Let's get the team out of this dangerous place. Jingu suddenly realized this magic flow. at the level of the B-level hamster also feels. No one outside knows anything. Suddenly, all three wizards have been attacked by a mysterious power. Box of blood. When Hun didn't understand anything. Turn your head. I've seen a whole army of senior OT surrounded behind me. At first glance, it must be about 50, so I know for sure. Now there's only one way to die. A captain, of course. You have to be brave to face it. You lead the way too. His name is Kagan, the great wizard of the noble OTTCLA. Kimin suspect inquired in the cave. Is there anything stronger than you? Kagan laughed horribly. He said he was just one of the generals. Next, it gives you two choices. One is that everyone here has been killed. To be obedient to the Most High. Before this situation, Kimin did not hesitate. Choose the second option, to save the lives of your teammates. When the crowd turns away, he hurriedly called Jingo to whisper the plot. When the boss appears, everyone will attack at the same time with all their might, regardless of the results. Then it'll be distracted, unable to maintain its boundaries. You just get out. Get in touch with the main hunters and get to the rescue. After that, the support girl came forward. Put a notebook in Jingu's hand. Please bring it back to your family. Jingo temporarily took the notebook and said nothing more. At the same time outside, I was so curious that I was off today. I went to the dungeon looking for Jingu. Asked the captain of the mining team. You just know. He entered the gate as a porter. Back inside the dungeon when Hun and his teammates start to enter the bot's home. Not beyond prediction, a majestic tall figure slowly appeared above the highest chair. Raised a low voice. Welcome to the little people. Visited its territory. Back outside, Hein is extremely wondering why. Why would an E-class hunter dare to take the mold? For category of vault, are we human together too? It's not a multiplayer game. Unconsciously, you were going to do something to see Seung Jin go. But first of all, I still have to tell the captain of the transport team for an hour. Allowed to allow. You can borrow his weapon. You can't have an iron fist like this. Like a porter, there's no sword or spear. There's every pickaxe. This high-quality imported bird only. At first, Hein returned immediately. But think about it, it's better to distort. It shouldn't be hard to hold. It's on the inside. High-ranking army at the time. Holding the martial arts by the percussion of spears. Create the most beautiful ear sounds. Counting the number of high-level leads is easy to see. If they get out, it will surely destroy the city. In the blink of an eye, there are 4 people standing next to the boss. Compared to those who are knocking spears, the atmosphere is not ordinary at all. However, Captain Ki Hein still had to stand his ground, ready to take up the sword and command the entire fighting team. Just finish the sentence. The worm took off the mask. At the same time, it radiates an enormous amount of magical power. Enough to make a first-rate magician shiver 7. Kimin also began to show a look of panic on Ms. Lam's face. Just open your mouth. Asked Kagan's true intentions. What's the point of calling the hunters in here? He doesn't hesitate to speak up. Here he will kill. Tormented and devoured one by one. It's fun for the soldiers. When you hear it, you only know. Hold your hand tight to stay calm. I can't believe everyone's determination. It's only worth making a toy for that fucking boss. But Kagan also felt it. The peculiarity of the character. Stand behind. But he decided to close the mask and patiently wait. At that moment, Kimin drew his sword. Lead the way for the whole team. I realized that no one has the will to fight. So I had to fight alone. Kagan sit still, like a statue that doesn't want to dodge. Use the guard. Make the ice as big as a steel shield. Stop Kimin being pushed back out the back. Then right after, Kagan used anti-gravity to take you to high. Plus the acceleration of gravity dropping to the ground. That's about for years. Put your life in a critical condition. I can't stand to see any more. Jingu immediately rushed to pick up the captain, put him on the ground and ask, you didn't intend to interfere in the first place. It's like this is an emergency. So, can you please have all the monsters here? Of course the answer is only one. What else can you think of at this level? Relax, friend. It's just such a simple procedure. Is to save a whole team of potential hunters. Kagan has another wave of magic power to howl Jingu, but then again, recognition. This is the first time you face a monster. It's as powerful as it is, but you have to say it again. It's hidden opponent that can't be defeated. Just said Jingu, I've called the Dark Ones to prove it. As well as warning, Kagan knows what hit show seriously. At the same time, on the outside the gate, the Hunter's Association surveillance office just arrived. Scare the whole mining team. The manager is very curious. Samsung Jingu workers are here a guy. As a worker, there was a rumor right there that he was. Jungwoo glared with bullet-shaped eyes, like wanting to eat fresh. I can only sigh. S-class anything but digging minerals to carry. It hurts all over my head. I know people are panicking. If you want to know the facts, just wait for the news in the morning paper. At the end of the sentence, he led the team slowly into the gate, but suddenly, a terrible gas that wants to tear flesh. Suddenly radiating out, he urgently ordered, measure the magical power of this gate, right inside. Hein can't explain it. The second strike team did this very well. High-end OT, but the magic flow just exploded. You understand that their lives are in danger. Hanging hair needs to be on the cover right away. Mention it. Jingu is now despised for having too few toys. So you're always the trump card. Aim the domain of the monarch. That's a trick you got after Leo finished the 70th floor. Demon Castle helps the shadow soldiers rise sharply. Both public and enemy. The hunters looked open-mouthed. I can't believe it. A human being can generate magical power again. It's so terrifying. Kagan begins to order an all-out assault. Iron saw that and roared to provoke them. But it's completely useless. It goes crazy dancing the axe fan one blow. Send all 10 back. King Izzet is also not vegetarian. Standing in the midst of monsters, swinging a few swords to take it all away. OT in time to think, and Jingu at the speed of the altar. Cut each one, just like a professional killer. Originally, your movements are exactly like Vice President Hines. It's amazing to everyone. I also wonder why such a strong man. Why do you carry? I let go to focus on the battle. The soldiers now of Jingu. Undersized power class B. It took me for years to get it down. A high class song. They're going to reduce their numbers. Kagan used the fire dragon to burn them all down. The uneasy Diren go summon a guy. And at the same time, I'm warning you that I can summon infinite troops. Kagan is not afraid to keep up the defense. Then use gravity accelerator to throw hard at Jingu. Next he uses anti-gravity. Shave the stones under your feet. And then we're going to shift to the downward force of gravity. Create a hailstorm. Jingu dodged well, but his army didn't. Kagan threatened to spam hanging, constantly cleaning up the soldiers, until you run out of magic. End of the sentence. It performed the fire paralysis. Fire from the ground. The hunters are constantly on the move. Then Zingo realized he had only used long-range skills to stop you from getting close. The outside monitoring team also had results. Let's measure this E-class gate near S-class. It means that there was an error in the measurement, forcing the surveillance room to move in. Captain of the mining team on duty, go to the Hunter Council. Continue the battle inside. The army has been destroyed and continuously revived. That Jinwoo's magic power was in shock without breaking. But you don't flinch. It's just opening the warehouse and getting a jar of manajamanic. I blinked bag full of mana trees. And now you're going to tell him. What is the true ability of a juniper? End of the sentence. You use rise. Turned most of the high school into zombies. It's also a statement for the living. That the whole thing will become the shadow of Jingu. And of course not excluding Kagan. When he heard this, he realized something. But every time you talk, the body is forbidden. The memory in my head is crumbling. He doesn't remember the reason. Why myself and my crew here? I only know when I wake up. You keep repeating a command in your head. Hunting humans, without being allowed to know the reason. Meanwhile, Hunter Council President heard about the S-class dungeon. If this dungeon explodes, it will cause a disaster like Jeju Island. So the whole Hunter force will be mobilized to deal with. Even in the worst case, you'll have to ask for help from the White Tigers and the Reapers. Back to the battle, Iron is solo with one of his 4 bodyguards. And quickly treated beautifully. Is it right next door? He is alone and weighs the other 2. Jinwoo looked over and realized, in terms of melee combat, we're better than Kagan. Of course, you know that your staff is being underestimated. The rest of the hunting team. I also want to contribute now, but not in time to hand was cursed by the insect. It causes the body to become extremely stressed, and then it uses all 4 types of curses at once. Plus you sleep and slow up Jingu. But completely useless because you're intrinsically resistant to poison and curses. It's Jingu's turn to call the shaman team Ra. Begins to build up the maximum fire associated with the Jade to double the power of Magic Doll. The fireball destroyed Kagan's shield. The mask was immediately broken. To make the rage rise, Hein went to the boss room. You can't believe your eyes. When this crowded army, they're all summoned by a human. She ran back to ask Han about the situation, but no one knows exactly what's going on. Kagan lost his patience and couldn't sit still. It's turned into a melee shaman. Turn giant. Jinwoo is extremely allergic to giants, and Kagan poked at the right place. It was so hard to beat quickly. It spits out a fireball sweeping a straight line, but you can't shoot. They're not over. It summons out dozens of other magical portals, shoot multiple fire dragons at the same time. Powerful enough to wipe out most of the Legion of Darkness. The whole room was engulfed in flames. But Jin goes suddenly from the smoke lao ra. Stab a knife in the eye. You have to know that it's getting bigger. It makes you easier to hit. Not to mention that Kagan is a shaman. There are no guards now. How to fight an assassin? OT finished yet. It's spammy. Turning the ground into lava. That, no matter how many candles you call out, they can't hit you. Jingnu, take one. On the contrary, he threw 2 daggers to break the magic circle. For the giants, you have to use hot stuff. You use the ruler's hand. Grab the chain on the wall, wrapped around his hands. Kagan swung a tug, flying the chain, pulling Jingnu closer. You just follow it around. And momentarily tied up the whole parasol. It comes a guy. He picked up the chain and threw it down as hard as he could. He succeeded in knocking down the boss, right at the right time. The head of the unit stepped in to assist, but it seemed it's too late. Hey, just look at it. Jingu Hunter is fighting system, but also use the summons Promisio. That's what the head of the department kept an eye on. It's not trivial. Kagan has now been scaled back, but still hit. That your body can't be destroyed. It's glistening up, hand in hand with his own guards. But apparently, a magician of any age fought a melee. He was eventually executed by the man who was his wrongdoer. Even the Jingu boss knows that. Do not take the item, just slightly extract the shadow. This time it's called success. Of course this one is as strong. Even more is it and Iro. I can't remember the name he just read. So he named it Fangs. Fangs with jaws are elite knights. It was the first time Jin Woo was seen. It's also about extracting as well as fighting. So you didn't recognize the head of the unit. Here, in addition to facing dozens of questions, you don't know how to explain. May the Hunters Association Surveillance Department has stood out. Information about Pulse Hunters in the top secret should ask people not to. Let's get today out. But before I leave, Kimin still wants to say a word. On behalf of the whole team, I want to thank Jingu for saving my life. Jinwoo smiled, then returned the letter to the support team. Hein wants to say something to him right now. But that's because I'm holding a pickaxe. Now it's not just White Tiger. That even the hunters are indebted to the Jingu hunters. Choi Jongin was shocked. I can't believe that power is real. Ask your subordinates. Let's take a look at me and soon Jingu. You don't have to think. A demolition trip. We need hunters with different abilities to collaborate and divide roles to make up for each other's flaws. For a standard a grade dungeon that's extremely difficult, Trivia President Choi Director alone conquer. I feel embarrassed when I hear it. While bearing the title of Ultimate Weapon, and of course at all costs, I want to take that hunter into my fold. The next morning outside the testing center, the hunter who bought the forest had already ambushed Tae. Lam camera waiting for work. Suddenly from a distance, glossy white car galloping towards. When I got out of the car it was Baek Junho of White Tiger and Choi Jongin of the Hunters. This reporter's pack scene. That made White Tiger a little nervous. The reporters were as fast as cutting. Immediately rushed to the enclosure. The two men are asking questions about whether they came to recruit Lee Mi-sung or not. They both shook their heads in denial. I don't know who he is. According to Choi Jonggin's latest source, R.A. Lee Min-sung put his pen to paper. It's a contract with the death squads. Listen, reporters are like donuts. Dipping water 7 hopelessly left because of the lack of. By the way, Baek Jun yelled out a lot of water, asking Choi Dong-in about the level gate. I heard a nasty rumor about an F degree. But he's not upset. That immediately dragged the White Tiger case to lose a level because the red gate is eroded. The opposite. The more you talk, the more you're fighting each other. Take half a second, 8-pound guy. No one is willing to talk straight. Today is to win. By Jingu to his guild. At that time from behind, there was a young man with curly hair, uninvited to come to inquire. Cry. Don't fight Lee Min-sung of the Reaper. I hear you both are hot. simultaneously swear Min Soon lame pants, quickly turn help. Meanwhile, Jingwoo is bewildered. I can't understand what's happening in front of me. You just want to finish the power evaluation, then hurry home, let's be quiet. There are so many reporters like this. It's on the school side. The sorority is whispering. We talked about Obama's press conference. Mitsu turned out to be as floating as a bunch of alcohol. It's not a class BSAO. Lee Min-sung is the best. Then the present. He's talking about himself. Suddenly woke up to become a hunter from a mediocre actor. Then he solemnly declared, I'm going to do a power evaluation right now, and then I'll close a solid sentence. Confirm. I myself will join Bushu Lim's Guild of Death. The reporter heard that. I asked Han about it. Will you take off your shirt and leave the entertainment world? With a facade like Miao. What does Lee Min-sung do? Something will shake off the showbiz aura. Because he's been confirmed as a grade B4, plus a 2-year contract with the Death Squads. During that time period, I'm going to play the role of a hunter who brings out corn and potatoes, waiting for the scandal to subside, and then we're back on the stage. But that's what Lee Min has in his stomach. In his mouth he swore, living and dying as a hunter, using American language to pour honey into the ears of reporters. Suddenly the sound of the guards breaking down. Straight Nexingu out. To keep order for the grand press conference. But rather from behind. The president went out. A gentle reminder that this is your guest. At the same time, call the manager. Stop the press conference immediately and immediately. But Lee Min-sung still proudly reminded the manager of Gu, don't worry about the money. I've called 10 more of these guys. It's nothing compared to Jin-gu. It should be free of comment. On the inside, Zingo and Bushu go to the engine room. Special inspectio. There, Baek Junho and Choi Jongin stood still. Waiting for them, they are very excited. I want to know what kind of power Jin Woo can wield. Let people have to wait a long time. You summon a shadow soldier. To make the demo convenient to explain. I mean, you can use magic. I saw that the president had bright eyes as Sao begged. Ask about Jin-go's abilities, because you've heard the report. If you like it, Zinu starts showing off. The mighty army of darkness counting the dew. 100 of them. Not much. Everyone in the room has an OI. In front of this crazy power. The inspection finally came to an end. Jin-go Aggressive receives hard new hunter license. If you have it now, you can sell good stuff. Without fear of being looked upon with suspicio. Just came outside. You were picked up by the duo. Continuously invited. Of course, there is only one no. Jin go through them both like the wind. He just showed his face outside the door. Suddenly a bright light suddenly appeared. On the front line, my best friend's sister also sells. I was surprised that Jin-gu was on the air. This is the shocking news that has taken social media by storm. Jin-go Hunter is officially recognized as an S-class hunter. Blink, Lee Min-sung is a name no one knows. I blame him for forgetting the date. On the other hand, Jinho is talking to his father about being unable to invite the CA back. You remember that moment? He said he wanted to fight alone. So he flatly rejected the offer of cooperation. Because right now, if you join an organization, you're going to be tied up with your hands and everything. Of course, the father would be angry and blame the son for being useless, failed to complete the task, swallow all the bitter insults. Jinho suddenly remembered when he was together, join the fight together with Jin-gu, then make decisions like nails. You will join the fight with the big CA. Listen to this again. The tough dad also wants to be clear about everything, once and for all. Back to the Hunter Inspection Center. The more the curious crowd came. Like bees breaking the nest encircling Jinggu. See that? Baek Jun coughed quickly and quickly. He wanted to take you home. But Jinggu has moved 500 meters away. In the blink of an eye that made Choi Jongin stand. Since when does the shaman system have superhuman physical abilities? Baek Junho is no less. Because the speed just now is way ahead of the last time we met. I met him. A while later, Jin go to the weapons company for reference. You are interested in items that have fire resistance properties. Prepared to climb the next tower. With such an urgent need, the consultant enthusiastically introduced a robe that fits. The 3 holy rings can be easily equipped. When you look at the price in the sky, Zinu, your face is pale. Ask if there is a discount, brother. Of course, everything is listed. So there's no bidding here. If Jingnu can break it down, Kia tempered glass panels. They'll be happy to send free gifts without paying. Flash a little. They're all high-grade magic-enhanced glass. Hot AK-2. 6 barrels of ammunition are not sure to penetrate. Jinwoo took a deep breath. Put the maximum amount of power into your hand to inflict a fatal blow. I immediately saw that the situation seemed tense, uncle. The blue-faced employee hurriedly raised his hand. To be honest, it's just a joke. It's for fun. You don't need broken glass, just an abnormal concussion. The alarm will sound. Security will come right away. Jinwoo also shrugged his hands and turned away. But look closely. The glass has a long crack, even though you haven't touched your hand. Jinwoo switched to see if the daggers have delicious properties. But you can't believe. Poisonous fangs carry price back high for sport like. Suddenly an idea came to mind. Jinwoo bent down to pretend 6 times. Take out another sword from your bag. Then ask the valuation staff. After the staff carefully picked up the sword, I can feel the dedication of an artist. Talent B, and then innocently bid at least 100 million. Finished listening. Dirango extremely surprised not understand the item to million. In store back raw 100 million here. If the item on the store is already priced terribly like this, it is no longer a crime to sell jade. That night bed Junho sat musing, thinking about the terrorist power of Jingu. I wonder if I have to go back. Wake up or not. Maybe he's a hunter. Possess the ability to develop constantly. The next morning Gina looked carefully out the window. Are there any reporters? You nasty. Blame your brother for the loud reawakening. Jinwoo also spoke casually. We'll disappear from the house in a week. When I finished, the doorbell rang. Turns out it's Jin's brother calling. Jinho's brother came at the right time. I don't know how to explain Sao to Jinwoo's sister. I took my brother as a bullet. I will go to work with him for a week. At night, he called out to Kagan's for strongest guards. It is now called Tut. But there's only 3 of us, and where are the others hiding? They point their hands to the sky. It means that the other name. It was bad luck getting stuck on the ceiling, so you can't summon the ball down. Jingu also assigned tasks to the BA. One in charge of keeping Gina safe. One is a babysitter, and the other is improvising. Next, you quickly deploy the security team. Patrol everything around. 24 out of 7 by the next day. Jinho actively works as a driver. I also confessed that I left home to find yourself. Besides, the boy is curious. I want to know what happened to the DS tower. Tell him to practice again. Jinho startled, but then smile and wish you good sailing. Enter the demon castle. Jinwoo immediately equipped with a water attribute gown for heat resistance. The mission is still 10. The evil spirit, but with the goal of defeating the Baron. Extremely attractive with rewards. The ball-swapping June Stone and specialized skills of the Professor. Jinwoo excitedly teleports to the 76th floor. Start now and always. Meanwhile, Jinho's father suddenly collapsed. Unconscious people for unknown reasons. Back to the front lines on the 76th floor. Jinwoo must confront a giant monster. Now it's time to test it out. See if you can do the job. Immediately unleashed a terrorist energy sphere from my mouth, blowing up the target in the blink of an eye. This destruction is too real. When there is Lam Pham and Gok help, from now on, that item will be issued separately. Back outside, Jinho's father was hospitalized and shocked. Or believe you've got permanent sleep sickness. It's because the magic resistance is so weak. At the same time on a road, Absent Patrol encounters a monster. It looks extremely dangerous. About Jinwoo. In order to maximize the time to climb the tower, he divided his army into 6 teams. To destroy everyone. Enemies block the way and search for passports. But it's been 2 days since we got to the 80th floor, and you haven't made a breakthrough yet. Suddenly Jinwoo is startled. I realized there was a stranger stealthily destroying the soldiers of darkness. It's clearly a two-faced team. You guys are all on a par. There you are. Immediately investigate and find out. These monsters are on a whole different level. Let you do it yourself. Just a few short seconds is enough. After an exchange of skills, Jinwoo has gained the advantage and use it to stop the enemy. But as soon as the blade touches the neck, the monster is praying for your life. It's like a human being with emotions. Makes Jinwoo a little confused. Try throwing away his helmet. It's as if this is a humanoid monster. He has the spirit ears and the Volve fangs. You wonder, Cho tried to come in and now, please forgive your life. Not to mention that all of her friends are down. Jinwoo's answer made him less suspicious. In fact, only monsters can utter them. It doesn't matter if he dies, I have enough to live for. If you ask for that size. Uncle Jinwoo collected his weapon and walked away. I know that little girl can take advantage of the gap to stab. So he had fangs make even leaves waiting for the fish to bite. Once again she knelt down. Please have compassion for this stupid act. That thick face is the same. You just need time to hand out the license upstairs. Any size is forgiven. Fortunately, this little one knows the whereabouts of the license. It's being held by my little family. Out. Small also know where the licenses of the upper floors are. Just make sure the family is safe. It was hidden by monsters. I can't see why Jingu 6 is on the 80th floor. However, you still have to use the weapon to investigate. See how much the monster can believe. Standing in front of such a powerful killing machine, Sweaty Monster claims to lie as devil. Confirmation Jinwu kills the gas and says he only needs a license. You're leaving now. It's not Florian. Before that, you want to know that she's a race. At the same time, on a small island right next to Japan, appear giant worker ants. Eat fresh. Swallowing innocent people in the middle of the morning sky. They were no longer afraid of being discovered. So how many hunters should be called? Back to the tower of the female warrior, eldest daughter of the Reidu family. Of course, this is information that is of no value to Jinwoo. What do you think you should exploit? Related to the system, it makes more sense to eat your own food. Jinwoo started asking questions. Ace heard a voice in his head. Do you have to kill people? There's a monster in the tower. I heard a completely different order. Protect where you live instead of butchering the intruders. The voice began to appear. Since they were brought here, I've been mostly in the ghost world before. Jinwoo continued to ask. What did you do when you were in the underworld? That's the limit that IC can answer. The system immediately intervenes to control your brain. Only small information, like a monster preparing for war with the enemy. They are so powerful that they need to gather all the demons. There is a chance to resist. Answer the sentence IC was forcibly Beate, fainted in Jinwoo's arms. Other side, information about the mindless slaughter of ants. The giant worker went to the Korean Hunters Association. So far, the damage has been in for categories, a grade C and a grade B. Through examination, a worker ant must be at least as strong as a class A hunter. The island is in trouble this time. It is about 120 kilometers from Jeku Island. But the ants still get there, that they've evolved wings. If you let it go, the entire South Pole of the 6th will be in darkness. So the president goes. Instant send support request from Japan. At the same time, notify neighboring countries. Let them raise their alert levels. In short, he'll use the powers of the president of the Hunters Association to relaunch the 4th Jeju Island offensive. Back to Jingo. Yu Fang, hold the Oict while she feigns to save time. Until you wake up. They both arrived at the castle, where the Riz family lives. He had just met the king who scolded his daughter to take the plague home. There's obviously hundreds of shadow soldiers. He's hiding behind him, but still believe. He then warned Jinwoo to stay away from his daughter. If you fool him even a little, Instant 5 code carcass break. Not finished yet. The subordinates naturally called out. This is the guy who took down Dancer and Metis. Suddenly you become a coward. You're going to get your license to the 81st floor and kick the guests out. Jinwoo doesn't want to stay here long. Before you go, you want to borrow more IC as a guide. Who said that? She asked for the license information of the upper floors. Don't worry, your daughter's safety will be guaranteed. Thanks for this sentence. Jinwoo can take people's daughters away in an easy way. The 89th floor is closed. Is it with Tank has also been promoted to Funktio, fighting now on par with S-Class. At that time IC was regretting for bringing gifts to negotiate. It's never used. Jinwoo came to the side to explain. There was never a monster to negotiate with the weak. That's right. If Jinwoo is weak, give him something. That's it. Out. You promised you'd help the Riz get first class in court. This tower is curious. Why do you only spare death for each of your clans? Ask each of them. It's because you keep an eye on me. That's it. Now you can go home. Because from the 90th floor, monsters are twice as powerful. It is very dangerous to follow. Just show Jingo. The location of the passport is enough. Who would have thought I would go with you to the end? To witness the glorious moment, like the afternoon, Jinwoo begins exploring the 90th floor. I noticed that there are crazy monsters. Of course you're going to walk through every floor. Sir Tai must have the raw materials to make the holy water of life. Meanwhile, on the hunter side, President Choi called Vice President Cha Han to inform we'll take part in the 4th Jeku Island expedition. There will be another president, Baek Jun-ho, with all the S-Class hunters across the country, not to mention working with Japan. They're closer to the range of the ants. That day has finally come. The day Jinwoo reached the 100th floor, the last floor of the Tower of Hell. There is only one demon, but it's off the table. It is not called the 3 Kings of the Devil. Jinwoo is wondering, are you going solo yourself? In front of me, I can see that he can fly. Suddenly, 3 swords came up, summon countless gates. Let's take them to attack the intruder at the same time. Jinwoo is no less than you. Activate the realm of darkness. More than 1,000 warriors. Fight a life and death battle with them. Now, you have the opportunity to use your magic power. Wide area of in a split second, more than half of them were wiped out. Basalt saw that and responded with a rain screen calling thunder. Millions of lightning pouring down, sweeping away everything around. In this situation, IC doesn't know what to do. Close your eyes and wait to die. But if you have Jingu here, you can live carefree, worrying about what you notice. If you let this storm go, sooner or later the mana will be drained. So first kill the VI strong. Jingu moves to close combat. Take care of the dragon first. But you didn't expect. Basalt can see through the hidden magic. That flew you down. Was that? And give more supergiant lightning. Change tactics. Jingu call feigning support. Handle the thunder pile. And you escape. Gently cut off the dragon's head. Force God to kneel on the ground. It's been so exhausting. It's outside. The meeting between South Korea and Japan. It's just getting started. President Yuchi of the Sword Society. I've worked all the way here. Understand how important this is. You have to know that this is the Great Society of Japan. S-class hunters. According to what the Japanese are investigating, the lifespan of ants is only about a year. In other words, if you can destroy the Kui, then the remnants will go quickly. Next is how they work. Based on 3 attacks in the past, we know that ants are attracted to the enemy. There is stronger magic. So the 4th time, Japan wants to use that behavior to pla. 10 out of 11 S-rank hunters of the swords. Even the president will participate. They take on the role of attracting the Korean side. I will use that time to find God. This is the plan with the highest success rate. Based on advanced AI technology. Continue with Jingo. You now have no free hand to suckle. Mana should be fine. No more reviving the soldiers. To him, is it with tank stay support attack is enough. But Basalt is capable of weighing BA, but still able to block the sudden blow from Jingu. If you're caught by it, it means you're setting the door for death. But the boys worked beyond expectations. Open the opportunity to flip the Basalt rafters. Immediately gathered its magic Push power the enemy into a circle. Come here, Jingu's mana bar is back to 0. The devil also drew weapons. I want to make a decision. So what are you waiting for? Jingu rushed in using everything he had over 100 rounds. You're finally shot down. I have to use my unsupported hand. But Basalt is too. The devils who are fighting close-up are changing to playing magic. Ace threw his weapon. Distracted him for a few seconds. Jingu immediately, using the ruler's hand to tear his hands apart and transformed into Sartama. Do the right punch. 1 shot, 1 kill ends the battle. The notification panel appears. There is no magic left for the devil. Congratulations. Soon Jinwu is clear. The Tower of Hell. All that's left is a heap of ruins, and a bunch of rewards flowed into your inventory. The first is the blood of the devil. Clean the last item. To be able to make the holy water of life, muscle that the success rate and the number of depends on the wisdom, makes Jingu a little afraid. Think over and over, think over and over. It has to be made anyway. He pressed the button and waited for luck. After the manufacturing process, I was lucky to smile when I got to 6. OT alone. Of course, there's no guarantee that this really saved your mother. Right now, Aeon carried the body of the red-dyed white dragon. Give the owner a sign to take it. I rarely cut this body so hard, so can't miss the opportunity. I'm used to taking you seriously, so this time Jingu just need to try 1 shot and eat it right away. Next is the hardest part. Naming is always a problem. Xingwu can never remember their original names. The car is the most beautiful. The dragon also growled to prove that the Falco. It should be finished. Now Jinwu needs to find his way. Get back to the hospital as soon as possible to test the product. Come to think of it, you remember the quest reward. There are also unused stones. Say do it immediately. Jinwu 6 tosses his inventory. Take out the head of that stone and break it. Instant skill dedicated ball swapping. Add it to the character information table. With it, you can swap places with the shadow soldiers, no matter how far away. This is also the most appropriate thing at the moment. Sorry, but I have to buy SU right here. Let us celebrate something so you can come back later. Don't let her say goodbye. Jingu disappeared. The collapse left every soldier bewildered. Don't understand what? As for Jinwu blinking. You're back in the neighborhood. That's right, the ball is sent out on patrol every day. There's only 3 hours of cooling time. You have to use it from now on. Learn the skills. Jinwu jumps to the sky. At the same time, call Kai drive through the hospital at full speed. At the same time, the Hunters Association is going through it again. Battle Pla. Coming to Japan. We'll use the hunter's magical powers as bait, lure the ants to come, and then use a special kind of electromagnetic to cut off contact between them. Take advantage of that time. South Korean task force will infiltrate the nest and deal with the queen ant. However, there is nothing to suggest that electromagnetic wave jammer will work effectively. You still have to be psychologically prepared. With that comes the exit plan, in case it doesn't work. Next up is Sung Ji-gun. The president wants to know, have you made any contact with him? Easy to guess the answer is no. At this point, he's just out of the tower. In another development, Bushu Bag is having a drink with his friend Bungu to confide in a few words before leaving. A few words about Bungu. He's an S-class healer. It's one of the few cases where I've quit when you're young, even without serious injury. Plus, he's a teammate. I worked with Baek Juno. Bungu is in trouble right now. When President Baek prepared to participate in the Jeju Island campaign, the obsession when Ulseok leaves, it's still in my subconscious. So even if the president tries to theorize, dress is just a cup. Know that. So today's drink is just a goodbye. Because you know, you'll never see each other again after this operation. When it comes to this, Byung-woo's heart becomes very chaotic. I open my heart to share that. I will soon enter the civil service. I really can't stand all this blood anymore. That's why I made this decision. You say it. The rate of beans it's pitifully low. Gongwo is no better than history. Say a little more. This is also a rare case. High-level hunters hate fighting monsters. Baek Junho, for example. Fighting has become routine, or maybe even someone who's interested in it. Back to Jinwoo. He was sitting next to his mother's bedside. Look at the scar on her neck. I remember the time I played it. It's because of you that I got this severe burn. As for the holy water of life, maybe she won't swallow. Even if you swallow, you are still the owner of bad luck. Of course, the luck will be better. Because Xingwu saw it. There are many miracles created by an E-class name system like you. You can jump to the highest level. It's the clearest evidence. So now just put your faith in the system and try it. Jingo immediately opened the lid raw. She woke up and trembled in her mouth. Right after that, the burns on the neck vanish at a dizzying speed. It's an extremely positive signal. But she hasn't opened her eyes yet. Jinwoo fearfully clasped her hands and prayed continuously. Mom is the only reason. Let him fight and be strong. Now, if this drug can't be cured, you don't know what to do. X to it. Gina suddenly lost focus without understanding why. Maybe my sixth sense is telling me. He said something big is going to happen. The moon's now shining brightly, shining into the hospital room where hope is most needed. Yes, the moon brought the mother. As a reward for effort. Relentless effort. Seung Jin-goo's been coming all this time. Even a strong person like you can't control his emotions. Men's tears just fall when you let go of the barrier in Tim. This is a rare moment for an S-class hunter. Jin-goo is returned as her mother's baby. No way I can stop the flow of emotions. So just cry. Crying to grow. Crying to try to protect this happiness. The next morning, the brain-dead patient recovered as usual. That made the whole hospital mess. Gina also got the news. Be there to welcome your mother back to the family. On the other hand, the President Go is holding a press conference to announce the latest news about the Jeju Island campaign. Here, he announced the association had officially approved the plan. He also announced 10 valuable Japanese military aid combat support. Watch the news. Byung-woo thought again. Remember the words that Seok said before. Of course hunters are afraid, but those who can't fight, probably 100,000 times more afraid. So, to end it, the hunters are forced to fight back. In terms of capacity, you are the one Baek Junho needs the most. In danger at the same time. Jin-go just brought mom home. I found the mess my sister made. You've been out of the house for a few weeks. Let's take a look. My daughter, what a mess. Fortunately, my mother is here, or it's time for your grandfather. Look at this scene. Jin-go suddenly felt more afraid than glad. Was it while I was a hunter? You accidentally entered the territory. You shouldn't set foot. Suddenly, I held up a family photo. Ask Jing if he can contact you. He used to be a super cool firefighter. It was because of that cool thing that she urged. Your son must have inherited some. That's why I became such a famous hunter. Talk about here. Jinwoo receives a phone call from the Associatio. Speaking of that, right now, Go President is quite headache about Thomas Android, S-class hunters in the United States. He suddenly appeared in Korea. At this sensitive time, it's really worrying. But now, you need to focus on Seung Jin-goo. Then this Thomas. You need to try to convince him. Join the Jeju Island campaign. When you hear the news, you will not. Because it's a great promotion opportunity. But now that I've saved my mother's life, it's true. I can't finish the sentence yet. You startled a guy. When you feel the waves of magical power. By the way, the president also led Jingwoo down to the arena. Take a look at the scuffles of S-class hunters. Down to the place is quite unexpected. When President Baek Junho, he was beaten down by ghost hunters. But President Choi came and said, the kitchen is accepting. If he fights, he must turn into a monster with symptoms of insanity, loss of reason. Talk about here. The S-class hunters from the Japanese side also came to watch. Right from entering the Goto president of the party, I felt the terrifying pressure from Seung Jin-go. That his main purpose in bringing his troops here was solo. So the first question was, do a little bit, guys. Of course the soldiers stopped. President Go fully support, but will only give the system of fighting to minimize damage to the facilities. After closing the deal with me for Bushubok, Vice President Chai, ghost hunters and Cha hunters go to war. In Japan, they send for people. Tagata Kumamoto in Tor, Hoshino and Tanaka. It's a shame that President Goto didn't, even though he was also a close fighter. But this is enough to satisfy Jin-goo. To be able to observe matches between S-classes. The server did not wait long. Chaos of battle permission to Beatty. It says chaos, but the hunters caught it automatically. Divide the spaces one by one on the floor. The two most powerful. Young will see which side falls first. There are those who have the speed advantage, will compete with each other to add fairness. Of course, there will still be cases where this pair affects the Kia pair, but it doesn't really matter. With this kind of high-level combat, there's a small detail that President Choi noticed. This base has been reinforced with stone, the most advanced magic. So look at it. The damage is still too much. So the president's going to have to reconsider the durability. Focus on the match. Then President Baek decided. Be serious from the start. According to the law, the hand will lose. But I'm prepared to be broke. It's not just holding. Your opponent seems to be quite a coward. Just dodge the blow as well as keep the distance. It makes you think. Goto's trying to use me to challenge this guy. See, if you're determined enough to fight the ants, you have to twist. If you have been selected as a judge, then let Baek Junho be very strict. The enemy also knows the danger is near. So I turned and ran away. No running out of the sun. When White Tiger's claws were exposed, to even the most famous list president in the world, admittedly not enough. If it's thrown down, it shouldn't last 10 seconds. Speaking of which, the power match has been defeated. Not for Japan. The speed pairing is done. That's 2, right? Ratio. It greatly influenced the match of Bushubik, because now it's going to be a 3-on-1 fight. Blue solo anymore. Chahan's side pair seems more likely. When you're gaining the upper hand, the opponent starts to see a lack of oxygen. When your fighting style is too unpredictable, very quickly Chahin was able to touch the back of the opponent and move immediately to team support. While running the place, you suddenly feel that there is a hidden weapon, so it was reflexively counterattacking. Who thought it was a coward? When you smell blood, we'll go crazy into a state of extreme intensity. Japan is also very boring. He's in this situation because it's rare for AI to meet without serious injury. Goto gave the order. Only intervene when there's an AI that's life-threatening, so no one will do anything. Chahin immediately fell into a passive position. I can only try to hold on until the enemy comes out. It's a dangerous blow to your body. Suddenly change Jingwoo to the face. You realize it's beyond the level of a friendly. To intervene to control the Mad Ma. This behavior has caused the President Goto to raise questions. Is it true that Seung Jin-woo belongs to the magic system? You have to check this yourself. The investigator is useless. About Jingwoo. The fight between the two sides has been successful, so there is no need to try again. Also lost. But right now, the translator came to ask Jingwoo again. Will you accept President Goto's challenge? You hear that, you just smile, because it is also testing. Watch the power sharpen in the castle. How terrible is the devil? Of course, if you want to fight with him, you have to give it your all and you will continue. Needless to say, Goto will accept it. So wait for Jingwoo to start a few steps and it will start. Heroine father was also very hungry at that time. She witnessed Jingwoo solo in a class at Dunjeo. Curious to know whether there are enough players with Class S. Speaking of which, Bushu Bak is just around the corner. You were upset. The whole S-Class environment smells of hunters. About this issue, of course you have to get used to it. Because you can't keep your nose shut on the battlefield. Usually, the mayor will stop the fight between magic and melee. This time will be an exception. I have the same reason as Chahin. That's enough off the sidelines. Jigen made hot guy. When you're done, signal for the umpire to begin. But the word has not yet said the sentence that Goto was in a hurry. It's a little magical spring. Look at Jinwoo's magic. You can confirm that you're in melee. So now you're going to take off his mask. Jinwoo also recognizes Goto as a strong especially hunter, here, but not to the point where you can't escape. Of course, it's not just constantly probing the strength of your opponent. But too much racket will make Goto mad. As a result, he suddenly ramped up his magic power, makes Jingwoo bleed. Fortunately, you can still hold your opponent's finger. They can still fight well. The emphasis is on the finger, not the wrist. You don't want the game over so fast. Goto understand the idea should immediately prepare to launch the entire strategy. Do one last blow. Jinwoo is also eager to play, but they're stopped by hunters on both sides. They're afraid if anything happens, you will lose your precious power. After the last battle, Jinwoo has the full power of the people who are here. More, he also enlisted in the shadow of 5 men, just enough to show up in danger. So when we disband, you went to President Go to talk about the Jeju Island campaign. Next to it, Goto President contacted the Japanese headquarters to talk specifically about Samsung Jingwoo workers. If you draw your sword, even a good fight is not sure to eat. That is on the list of the person who participated in the demolition didn't have that name. You. Of course, with 15 S-Class hunters, still have the strength to play to the campaign dock this time. Back to Jingwoo. You came home just as my mom finished cooking dinner, so sit at the table with me. While the Queen and on Jeju Island, I just decided to move to another land. Because here, there was not enough food for his people. And the key to clearing obstacles helps the herd. This is the big brother who was born. Unusually large egg size. It's the clearest evidence of the power it has. Of course, the body will be completely different from the ants. This is probably the most powerful version. Just behind God. The morning after news, the whole country reported about the campaign against Jeju Island. For a time outside the attacking team, the defense team was also joined by a large number of hunters. There is a very fast E-class. The Pioneer train has approached the Jeju Peninsula. It's expected to arrive in 5 minutes. The defense team will take care of the remote part to prevent any ants from entering the country. Of course, hunters. Min Soon will also join to suck this giant's fame. Maybe it will come back after this. Actors should be special. Can't be told. The emergence of S-Class Cure Hunters. Single Bayoung. Your decision to join this time. It was a real surprise to Bushu Bak, but maybe it's more fun than surprise. Japan is now in a position of readiness, just waiting for the Japanese 5 to approach the ant lair. Another drop. Campaign this time. It'll be live for the whole country, with a 10-minute delay. And of course, reporters have to be first-rate hunters to make sure everything goes to its best. And so everything was in place. The president goes as soon as he gets the information. Made a statement. The fourth invasion of Jeju Island officially started. The Japanese team immediately unleashed their magic. Workers out of the nest. The lost species. Aim for the South Korean team's helicopter. Will be roasted by President Choi. To see with my own eyes. Understand the reason. Why is it called the ultimate weapon? Firepower in large-scale battle. It's really indisputable later. When the treatment is finished, 5 South Korean troops quickly left, advance into the lair. The jammer is also immediately activated to cut off the ants' communication networks. For the Japanese team, it's really easy to clean up all the worker ants. Only the numbers are staggering. That's why we need a tire crew to play the queen. Mention the tire hanger team. President Choi has now spread the net. Fire on the nest. It's like a siren. See if any ants come out or into the nest. Then there's the number of turns that need to be investigated. The ant diggers must be 100 caves, so I don't know which one leads to the queen ant. So, Choi fired more than 100 fireballs at once to scan it all once. Despite hitting the grass snake, the performance is very strong. The whole crew keeps going the right way. And reach the egg-laying maple. Here they panic when he discovered a giant, supersized egg. The mayor tried to calm everyone down. Just focus on the main task. But I'm worried myself, because the evolution of ants is still a big question mark. That's right, just for a second. The ant leader lost a high-powered hunter. The other two quickly into a state of heightened alert, eyes continuously in the direction of the enemy's attack. But there's no blinking effect. The ant leader lost the hunter Kenzo before he could react. The last victim, although the reaction is very fast, the speed is not inferior, but the end is no different. Back on the ant side, Tanker Ma Dong is doing very well. Head of the front line. Alone, you can withstand the pressure of white ants. They are as strong as S-Class hunters, so the risk is enormous. Of course, the rest of us don't just stand. Look at me like a professional dancer, dancing in the air, and it ends with a sword tearing the target in two. I know we are hard. It's still within the ability of the S-Class team to handle. South Korea is easier to breathe when the team has the strongest support of all time. Byung-woo has been fighting. No one has a wound. It's all thanks to one hand. But you have to go deeper and deeper. The ants are getting stronger. Pronounced miss. No one who walks on 2 legs shows up. It also hurts my head. I'm not kidding. Shooters in the group began to suspect the path. Choi Rong-in led the entire group. However, Father Hein immediately dismissed the question. Because you just smelled the smell of a powerful monster deep inside the cave. Hear that? President Choi kicked President back to self-discipline. Don't forget to mention it. Bak Junho has the ability to see from a distance with incredible distances. I started rolling my eyes around the corner. Zoom up to 50 times, straight through the incubation site, to the last room. God is hiding in there, of course. And it's protected by a lot of guards around it. Certainly among them, there will be as many as S-Class hunters. The power of God is still uncertain. But now I hit Lao. I don't believe in this powerful force. Can't solve it. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. At this time, the Japanese 2nd Detachment suddenly lost contact with the BA. Should have gone to the area. They are responsible for investigating. Take a quick look. You can see they're very good at handling the ants around them. Just look closely at Fujishima's glasses. Then one of the 2 fell to the ground. Because the economic pressure is driving us here. Fear covers the whole brain. Make you lose control, freezing yourself the most powerful magic network. However, the leader is still determined to track him down. So still subtract another network next to it. Division 4 is on its way. Go to the BA to find out. Of course, after handling the gifts in the yard. Go wherever you want. Continue on the ultimate weapons front. Choi Janji, he seems to be the best in this fight. I can finally unleash all of his magic without fear of being killed. I even got a pen from Byung-woo. Then we all swim in here. As always, Ma Dong knows the role that comes first. Combines both grand magic and provocation. Attract all the attention of the ants. Meanwhile, Choi Jong-un will accumulate the maximum amount of magic power. He wiped out more than half the enemy. The rest will be by the president's strongest force. Bach under the shape of White Tiger handle. Just a light switch. You showed up in front of a pair of white ants and then press them against the rock until they break their heads. This is the power of Baek Joon-ho. Dare not show off. The animal state loses its mind. Other side, the live TV reporter just got the news. Viewer ratings have exceeded 80%. Ambition suddenly flared up. It takes a risk to get closer. Close up! But Boon-woo pulled him back in time, before any unintended casualties occur. But with the angle of rotation, this is enough to please the viewer. Must know, the opportunity to see the S-Class hunters firsthand fight together is very rare. At that time, now Madden's reached her limit, forcing you to switch to an axe attack, pushing the ants back. Right behind you is the gunner's position. Or maybe it's the team's main source of damage. You're free to throw your bow without worrying about the enemy pulling a tire, resulting in extremely high performance. As for the equally strong white ants, as will be headed by President Choi and Vice Chefs Destroy, very quickly they hit the maiden queen ant. Just stand in front of me. Don't give it a chance to move. Let the team keep moving. Dame Buffalo. Long fight also died. Queen without a guard. It's no different than mobile meat. Wear it for the hunters. Just finish the sentence. God and wheezing. A large amount of toxic gas. It made both Maiden and Baek Joon shout about heaven. I think Byung-woo is really necessary when you have to fight an opponent. After full recovery, the blood tree immediately grew. Hold a raw shield to perform the role of tanker. Take advantage of the space. Choi Jong-ji quickly pierced him by double fireball. The damage is there, but it doesn't seem to be enough. God's power suddenly repulsed everything, at the same time screaming. It's like trying to call people back. Of course we won't let it go. Choi Jong-un hit the head with a fireball. Then Ma Dong and Baek Joon-ho each hold a side. The one who takes care of the end will be the father. With a greatly increased speed thanks to Byung-woo, she danced the death dance, cut off all the legs of the queen and then put all his magic into the sword and unleashed a blow. Successfully decapitated the target's head. The whole of Japan was emotional, especially the president go behind the commander. There is a chance that the mayor still feels that something is wrong, especially the last howl of God's ant. But Byung-woo and everyone celebrated so hard, so I'm a little less worried. At this time, the Japanese command announced, the jammer has lost its effect. The remaining ants are massively returning. Breaking fence. The fire that Choi Rong-in had set before. It's clearly not the intended time. It makes Byung-woo very angry. But what do these workers do? Enough net breakers of the ultimate weapon. It means, and among them, there's an extraordinarily strong individual. The leader also returned. When the queen was assassinated, the amount of magic it unleashes, enough to make the entire S-Class party feel threatened. The devil is going to do something. But as soon as I stepped up, I've seen my body split in two. Should be stopped for a beat. The leader walked towards the queen, frantically devouring its corpse. Then he punched Father Heroine, a powerful blow. Ma Dong immediately turns big revenge muscle. The more easily your body is torn apart. Even White Tiger can't stand it. 1 second is enough. The win rate has almost reached 0. Gunner of the team. I'm trying to shoot the ice with some hope, but I'm sorry it didn't work. He was beaten like a child by the leader. It's even life-threatening if there is no timely help. One more time. Byung-woo has proved his necessity. One continuous recovery for tanker. You've activated the invisibility technique. The enemy will not be able to recognize it. Of course, that's not enough to make it difficult for the leader. It lifts the ghost. It's no different than holding a piece of paper. And then you keep banging back and forth. And then it soars to the support position. Pierce through the chest. Byung-woo. It's worse than chewing your head in front of the chief. The anger immediately came. White Tiger couldn't control himself. As a result, he was strangled so much that he returned to his body. And yet it stole Byung-woo's brain and learned human language. Since then, the growth rate is, that's too fast for the Hunters Association to calculate. Now the ant leader asked to point out Ra the strongest on my side. Blood debt must be paid with blood. Kill its queen. He will hunt the king of men. Talk about this suddenly. It can feel. There's a huge amount of magic present on the island. Its current goal is to hunt kings, so the haters will be spared their lives. Baek Joon-ho saw that. Can confirm. The ant leader's prey is targeting. That's President Goto. Mention Goto. Though, now you're leading the first detachment through to the third detachment to investigate Division 2. This side is also ready to go. After dealing with the ants in the way, when they arrived, the whole team received a huge shock. In front of them was the dead body of a comrade. That's when the president of the Japanese Hunters Association asked GATO to report the situation. I know we've lost 7 quite a lot of hunters, and he has no pity. Instead, they play dirty tricks. Ignore the Korean team inside the ant nest until they are all destroyed. I just announced that I tried my best, but can't save. Just disconnected, the ant leader came out. I'll take the Izid ahead in just one note. Go to face as cold as ice. Ask the rest of you to get together with Team 2. To return command, the leader will face you alone, even though he himself was feeling shaky. On the other hand, the Korean team has almost exhausted its before the relentless suppression of the nest-breaking ants. But when you're about to give up, then suddenly the soldiers of darkness rise to form a solid line. Right after that, Sung Jin-gu from the Kia front line used interchange, officially entered the game. Take the whole thing back. A few minutes earlier, a small army of dark soldiers appeared, stopped the attack of the workers. Even Izid and the bear are out. And of course, in the presence of the two of them, the number 1 tanker is indispensable, as well as top magician Tutbi. Next is the Lord, the King of Darkness. Sung Jin-gu walked over, to the surprise of the entire S-team. But that cool moment, it's not broadcast live because the signal was interrupted, according to the latest news about the field manager. It's very chaotic, so it's inevitable that the signal flutters. The President Go list immediately ordered to collect more updates for you every second, every minute. Meanwhile, the radio side, the head of the news department, is extremely confused. He yelled at the staff at himself. I don't know what to do. In case all S-level hunters are destroyed, Sao, the rush to the top. I came screaming with the mic. Request the Kia front end to respond quickly. Reporters on the front lines, currently struggling to adjust the frequency, so need a little more time. At that time, Jingnucho Ayun uses provocative skills. Up the ants, let the subordinates want to fight. Look at this scene. In Ma Dong's mind, the questions keep coming up. These dark soldiers are Sao. What is the reason Sung Jin-gu is here? Jin-gu has just come closer. But not to explain. You need to heal people first. I remember the blood vessel is a non-transferable item, so you're going to pour it directly into the mouth of the ghost. The wound on his body was healed. Dress at breakneck speed. It only takes a moment. All members of the team, all back to the top. Except Cha-hai, although they're also allowed to drink blood vessels. But it didn't work. Your energy is too low, just like Jin-gu did before. The situation is getting more serious when Cha-hain's energy is weaker than ever. Jin-woo wants to break through now. But just as we're done, the workers are coming in more. It makes you extremely uncomfortable. On the other hand, President Go personally to the command room to assess the situation. People have been trying to contact the Japanese, but can't connect. He then tells them what to do the most. It quickly restored the signal, just informed the medical team to act. He never hated his old body so much. If only I could help even a little. You will immediately roll out. Meanwhile, Gina is extremely upset. It's not just the live stream. Even the VI is broken. Out of the way. You just go into the room and use the phone. You can't leave it like that. On the Japanese side, the intelligence team has just revealed the signal. Life is gone. The appearance of a powerful enemy. So we can deduce the worst-case scenario. The others have no information yet. Listen to here. The president started to lose his temper and banged the table. Banging your mouth, constantly swearing at the car to uselessly back. And Nest B, a general is it. King Bear and Iron are constantly crushing the enemy formation. However, there are only 3 names that are overwhelmingly and the power troopers are completely outgunned. Jinwoo wants to increase his strength, but there's just too many people here right now. Thinking too much doesn't help. He announced that he would use force to clear the way, and everyone just needs to follow the script. It will be preserved to the teeth. Other than what you're about to do, let's hope no one reveals it outside. I said that, but I haven't had time to calm my soul. That a more horrible existence has emerged. The ants realize that they immediately drift to the sides, paving the way for forest leaders. Back Junho couldn't believe his eyes anymore. Because if this one comes back, that means President Goto has lost the war. That's right, it's emitting his familiar, abundant source of magical power. He snarled one and asked for another. Is the king in here? Jingu has now solved the question. At Sao, the signal of the soldiers planted under the disappear again, ball. You go alone. In front of the leader. As if you're not fed up with anyone. He asked if you were a king. But what Jingu replied to was an insect complaint. You also know how to talk. It feels like it's being belittled. So I raised a threat. But that didn't work for the family. Other side, reporters on the front line picked up the signal. Send it to the radio station. The manager immediately ordered the broadcast to continue. Even if you do that, we'll be live with almost 0 latency. If anything goes wrong, we won't be able to respond in time. He was determined to let his employees work there. The situation couldn't be worse now. Immediately, the whole of South Korea has seen the sight of the fig hunters. Jingo face one another with Ant Leader. President Go so excited to crush the AI chair. Even Jin Woo can be trusted. Back to the battle, surprised the leader. He threw his head straight at Jingu's face, causing the dust to fly. Nothing, but it says humans are too weak. while you're just getting a little bumped up. To respond, Jingu used gravity magic to crush his opponent and then give it a big punch. Make it feel bad. He stood there looking at himself humiliated. I wonder if this is a shamanic hunter. About Jingu, punch a punch. I noticed that this one's outer shell is hard. Abnormal. As soon as the leader and gets up, throw more punches, you miss more. Until one of the two sides falls. Briefly, the battle has become a kind of tit-for-tat. Jingu accepts eating a blow to hit the enemy. And of course, the power on your part is greater. It makes the leader feel trapped, to the point where it's pushed back. It's enough to understand that this game is one-sided. Jinwoo kept coming closer to throw another punch. I thought he would be unconscious. Who expected to stick out his tongue slightly across your face? Soon after, Jinwoo's body lost all its strength. When you heard the leader, it was poison. It's absorbed from a marine organism. As usual, Jinwoo will no longer be able to move, then slowly shut off. But to speed up the process, it's going to send you away right now. In another development, the Japanese president has just received the 7 of the 10 S-class hunters were killed. That's more than half the troops sent out. It made him lose his temper. According to the latest signal, the culprit reappeared near the crater. The reason for returning is still a mystery. Just finish the sentence. The president suddenly realized something in his head. He smiled the scheming way. He ordered his subordinates to bring back the 3 survivors. They'll go out after they join up with the backup. Very quickly, the Japanese S-level team received instructions. However, one of them refused to comply for being obsessed with the leader ant. He knows there's no way he can win that thing. OT running killed fast anyway. But they didn't have a chance to wait. If you do not do it, you will be executed when you return. Meanwhile, Jinwoo used his hands to stop the attack from Ant Leader. Next you pull. He came up and punched the hook in a fatal blow. At the same time, praise for hiding the bleach quite well. Remember, Jinwoo is intrinsically resistant to all toxins. So using this game is just counterproductive. Out. You've just noticed that the Ant Leader is getting impatient. Want to win? Of course you are. You have to deal with it quickly to take Father Hein to the hospital. Without hesitation, Jinwoo continues to throw stones at the opponent. However, the leader flew out in time to avoid the attack. It feels like it's pointless to use poison or force, so I decided to bet it all on this one. Any amount of power will be used up. A new form is formed. Leaner, more powerful. Jinwoo saw that and pulled out 2 knives. Start playing as your opponent wants. You were a little startled at first because its speed is terrible. But when you adapt, then the battle is back on balance. Both sides switch to match accuracy on each cut, then accelerate. Jinwoo is forced to be flexible in his fighting style. Just dodge and find a counterattack angle. Thanks so. And leaders have begun to feel unable to keep up. Not to mention speed. Jinwoo is getting faster. That the audience outside couldn't even see it. I can only see 2 red and blue rays escaping. Now it goes from corner to corner. Just turning your head is enough. Let's not talk about fighting. Jinwoo has gained the advantage. More than 10 cuts to the leader ant. It immediately flipped back, put you in 1,000 pounds of hair. In that moment, Jinwoo was quick, put all the skill points into upgrading the blink of an eye. The leader ant's body has been cut into pieces. The board is immediately turned. Make it feel like it's in unprecedented danger. His instincts tell him to use ice to block the road, combined with healing magic. Then turn around and run fast. Of course, there will be no spring. Jinwoo hurried to cut it to the ground. Cut off all 4 limbs, leaving only 1 body. The ant leader in pain shouted for the whole team to help. But it's not just him who has you. Jinwoo also chose Dragon Snake Knight boots up. Play green with them. He finally stepped in front of the leader. Give it a feeling. Extreme fear of not being able to argue. But run away from the dominant hand. Jingu pulled it to the ground. Give yourself a chance to crawl for feet. It's like a real ant. You finally followed. Hundreds of slashes in a second. Successfully finished off the leader. Bulletin board of the system. It is the most authentic proof. When he finished, he immediately rushed to the father SI. Take the holy water of life and try it. But it didn't work. Ow! It's too late to go out and find a cure. The situation forces you to make a decision, even if it's extremely cruel. Jinwoo first asks the reporter to hunt. Turn off the camera immediately. Don't blame you for destroying it. Also, he knows what it is, so he doesn't open his mouth and argue. There are no outsiders follow. Jingu can do one thing. It can be said to be cruel. Bet Junho seems to be aware of his dark intentions. Have spoken to inquire. But even if he screams, Jingu will not respond. Time is very limited now. There's no room for right and wrong. Jinwoo slowly walked over to the body of Hunter Byung-woo and raise your voice. And then the darkness came around and slowly formed Byung-woo. Dark Soldier version with Holy Book in hand. On the other side outside, the surviving Japanese S-level hunters. It's been taken to safety. President of the Union there ordered to implement Plan 9. But there was one person who objected. He's scared to face the monster. There is no ability to defeat.
It's easy to understand.
When the eyes themselves. I saw it destroy Bushu Gato. How barbaric. However, the manager now reports that an leader was killed by Korean hunters, proving that ants of this scale. It's not too dangerous for S-class hunters anymore. Are you still afraid? Back to Jin-gu. Madam has always wondered, what kind of power does he have after all? I thought it was just a summons. Who even suspected using the power of the dead? Besides, Baek Jun-ho is also restless. I saw my best friend being forced to work. At that moment, Jin-gu said that I heard a voice from the hunter Byung-woo. He said to use my power. Byung-woo came to the Chahin place on his owl. Open the holy book of Ra. Activate S-class recovery skills. Now, Jin-woo has a sense of what it means to be alive. What kind of person is he? By obviously, you never gave orders to these dark soldiers. Cure for hunter dad. Byung-woo must be an extremely warm person. Whereas most S-level hunters are here. They all feel shivers. The ability to hack this game can't be shown on television. Every time you go through a battle, it's Jin-woo gets more power. The news is revealed. It's all about wind and storm surge. Baek Jun-ho has expressed his opinion. If from now on, Jin-woo continues to fight as a hunter, probably Byung-woo's strength will be a valuable strategic resource. More than anyone though. You are the one who knows best. He doesn't want to fight. So now I pray to Jin-gu. Don't let Byung-woo stand on the battlefield anymore. Jin-gu would normally leave out a few words. This is like the last time. Captain Baek puts his hand on his shoulder. It's with an order attitude. And now, it's a sincere request. It comes from deep within the heart. And the good news is that Jin-woo thinks the same way. So right now, you'll proceed to extract the ball. Give back your freedom to your soul. A predecessor in the Korean hunting world. Before it dissolves, Byung-woo has a smile with Baek Jun-ho. Instead of goodbye, if you stay, try harder. At the same time, president of the Japanese Hunters Association just got the latest news. That hunter young Jin-gu showed up. Destroy ant leader. He was extremely angry. I want to know why he's on the island. Obviously, there's no name on the list of combat partners. Of course, your subordinates can't explain it either. He's also only measuring magical power. New appearance. It was then that Seung Jin-woo appeared. This is especially true of the Japanese president. Another worrying. Because you've lost 7 out of 10 S-class hunters. That Korea only lost 1 is suffering. They're almost dead and their subordinates keep asking about whether to keep doing it or not. If you lose another S-class hunter, then Japan will be ruined. Balance of power in the world will also be seriously disturbed. Of course, he's also aware of this, so let them all retreat. But as soon as you hang up, the rage that broke out in him was intense. There's no way to let go. Back to the front lines. The remaining ants suddenly became violent, constantly attacking people in their line of sight. The defense team is under tremendous pressure, even though they're not strong. But it's bigger than the S. This will also be a golden opportunity to the defense team to prove their effectiveness in this campaign. As for the Queen Ant Raid team, all of you have now withdrawn outside the cave to the helicopter. Prepare to leave the island. Look at the situation right now. They can speculate that the workers want to leave the island, flying towards the mainland. So if you don't hurry up, then they'll all be blocked. Be aware of this. Choi Jong-in asked to take off without waiting for Seung Jin-woo. Simple, because he said he wanted to stay and clean up the mess. More, if you try to wait, you will only get stuck. Especially need to quickly bring the hunter father to the medical care team. When it comes to Jin-woo, currently, you're smoking fire in every corner of the nest. AI suspects the handling of unhatched eggs. They will also give experience points outside of yourself. You also want to test the good stuff. In the 100-story tower, the sword of the Demon King, it can be seen as a holy weapon, just a slight slash. It can handle over 100 worker ants. Come and see the end of the show. Jin-woo let the boy start. The bloody carnage. It doesn't leave any life. Level also according to from 9 to 100. In my spare time, Jin-woo went to the leader's body to extract the ball, but I just used the skill. Your body is suddenly surrounded by darkness. Plus the senses are shut down. I thought there was a serious in the process of extraction, but not just a few seconds later. Everything is normal and so on. The darkness begins to rise crystallization. The body made the leader a cocoon. Very quickly, it broke the barrier on its and appear in the most complete form. Jin-woo looked without restraining his satisfaction. I was just going to go back and deal with the workers. Suddenly, a voice spoke. Your Majesty. Jin-woo turned around and asked. It's because the ant leader said no. Of course, this one. It's very different from the dark soldiers. I just know how to say it again. I just understood basic human knowledge. He knelt down and begged the king to give him a name. The notification panel from the system that immediately caused Jin-woo to fall into contemplation. By the jaw that says General. Maybe it can talk from here, Ra, but you have to say it again. Jin-gu wants to determine in the heart of the leader. Do you have any hatred for me? Because you're the one who killed it, not the AI. However, the leader doesn't care about that. It only knows he was reborn by the power of the king. Should feel extremely excited. May the first serve the king forever. I said that. What else to worry about? Jingu immediately gave him the name Peru, and then turned to the surrounding workers. In another development, the workers at that time had access to land. The second defense is the last line. Stop the enemy from entering the city, but there are hunters. Two huddle in the house for fear of death. Fortunately, there are only most people are brave to fight. With your whole life. Jinwoo on the side. I just knew the current situation. Out of the nest according to Peru, there's 4,000 workers running around because of the loss of the king. That's a pretty big number. So Jinwoo wants to ask the leader Rate for help. As long as the owner wants, it will never refute. On the mainland about 10 kilometers from Ant Island, Captain of Detachment are doing their part very well. He was undeterred by the large number of worker ants, but they're still in a very dangerous situation. At that time, Peru appeared tearing apart the ants. Save you a life of convenience. It also cleans up the rest of the surroundings. Then turn your head away. See, it does not know because Sao, who also accidentally called Jinwoo. But let's just ignore that. The South Korean team at the time, he was in danger of being blown up by a helicopter. Just to people standing outside. It's not enough. Shield layer created by the mages in the team. Prepare to the limit. Bae Junho with Maiden would love to support, but in the air both are useless. Very quickly the shield was broke. The ants are like bees bursting their nests, coming at a very fast speed. At this moment thunder fell from the sky. You can beat them all in the blink of an eye. That's right, Jingu was riding the Dragon Rescue right behind. To put an end to this Ant Island campaign, most of the stray ants have been stopped by hunters. This causes damage to the land, has been reduced to a minimum. The S-class hunters in the country also returned safely. And Chahin in particular was taken straight to the hospital in a deep coma. Even though it costs a lot. But in return, South Korea was able to deter the threat before it spills off the island. Summing up, the fourth attack on Jeju Island is over, with victory on the side of hunters. Door. There's still a bunch of worker ants flying straight to China. Of course, this power is nothing to worry about. Because only the top hunter, use a double sword to cut a path, is enough to sweep everything away. He's still craving. Want to test with the leader ant. But these cowards aren't enough to stick their teeth in. A few days after the fourth attack on Jeju Island, a memorial to those who died was built. Make it easy for everyone to visit. Especially the appearance of Samsung Jinwoo. You are also there to show your gratitude. They say that without you, this campaign has failed 7 times, but on the other hand, the way you act has received a lot of criticism. They thought that if Sung Jin-gu had joined from the beginning, the number of hunters killed will be greatly reduced. However, Baek Junho told you to keep your head up. No matter what people say, it can't change the truth either. The one who ended this tragedy is you. After the visit is over, Jin-woo caught President Go waiting at the bottom. He wanted to call Mr. Ra to speak privately. First of all, to bow down and thank you for your help. I promise you, one day, the association will pay back Sung Hunter Jinwoo the way you want. The president wants to know this word later. What are you planning? Bye. When Jinwoo showed strength in the last campaign, let both inside and outside the country will not leave you alone. So as the head of the association, you can't just stand by and watch. I want to help more or less. After a thought, Jin-go reveals he will soon form his own society. On the other side of Jeju Island, there's a guild tasked with cleaning up the remnants, as well as collecting the remaining 10 resources. They don't have to go to the memorial. They immediately set out on a mission. Of course, that's what the president wants. Follow him working silently. This is the real man. It's just that today is not a good day. Inside the ant nest, suddenly a yellow-eyed man appeared. The same mysterious green guy. The entire union fainted for no apparent reason. Let the two of you talk about it. Is there a trace of strength in this place? The strength of that man. The green is quite surprising. When he's out to save people, gold is not there. He's always doing 3 paradoxical things. I said blue, snapping hands tearing through space. To continue the mission. At first, he discovered that there was another strong man, but I don't want to get involved. As soon as the green leaves, Summer Gold also tore the space away quickly. Leave Yu-han alone. Jinwoo is trapped on the highway. With the car stretching nearly 10 kilometers, I'm expected to be home in a few hours. That's why you called your brother Jinho. When I heard the news, I was going to hold him. Jinho is excited. He's still healing, but Ji came in. Jinwoo wants to hire him. He immediately turned off the phone and continued to sigh. I am tired of the traffic in front of me. Suddenly the president called. I want to ask you something. There's a big glass gate that just popped up near you. Traffic jam hunters have been dispatched, but it looks like it's going to take a while. I want you to help. One hand on the side of the gate. The manager is in a hurry. I heard that the hunter couldn't get there. But don't worry, Jinwoo has appeared, so there is no need to wait for AI. You will handle this gate alone. In half a sad note, it's like Jinwoo just walked by. It turns into a red gate. This is definitely a curse. It's almost impossible to live like this. This time it's a huge rainforest with extreme rain showers. But with the current level of Jinwoo, this is still a bit boring. You immediately raise the Dark Legion. With the emergence of many races, the head is Tut Is It Ayun, Bear Lord and Ant Leader Bazu. Expect the monsters in here. I'm going through a nightmare that couldn't be worse. At the same time, Chahin contains many thoughts. Standing watching the sunset come down, she told Choi Jongin directly that the last campaign reminded me how immature you are. You are the only one who needs to be saved. And he's so mean. I really want to chase next to him. And to do that, Father Hein himself needs to be stronger. Continue with the carnage inside the red gate. Jingo is currently very relaxing point back and back definition. In this world, hunters are born to hunt. A dungeon is a place where big fish eat small fish. So hunters have to be mentally prepared to be hunted. I don't know when the game will be reversed, but they're still engaged in battles. Even if the enemy is stronger than you, they still ignore the purpose of fighting each other. Someone to protect the family. There are also those who persevere with faith. Some people want to prove themselves. There are also those who struggle against fate. After all, hunters simply keep hunting. So for Seung Jin Go, you're looking forward to it now. The next prey will appear in front of you.